They done quoted her on the damn news for lying. They ain't come correct.
We began with the FBI at Dolton Village Hall. Elizabeth Matthews reports many in the south suburbs believe this is only the tip of the iceberg. Elizabeth.
John, the mayor here has been accused of misusing funds. The mayor and a trustee are being sued for an alleged sexual assault against a former village employee. The village administrator now facing bankruptcy fraud charges. And today, this afternoon, federal agents popping in Village Hall looking for some information.
The house of cards are collapsing. I think the government is taking action.
It's normally bad news when federal agents stop by a village hall looking for documents, but that's not bad news to many in Dolton.
Months and months and months, we've been begging for someone to come out here and actually investigate as to what's actually going on out here.
Video appears to show those federal agents inside Village Hall Friday afternoon.
All these news channels that have been out there, about 30 news channels, and this dickhead mayor gonna get on her social media and say they lied. The FBI wasn't there, even though we could see the FBI cars and shit there. She said they wasn't there. And misery needs company, not loves company. She crazy.
Where we've learned they were serving 2 subpoenas. One focuses on employment and disciplinary records of 25 Village of Dolton employees, including 3 police officers and Keith Freeman, the senior administrator recently charged with bankruptcy fraud. The other
he still ain't turned himself in.
Subpoena focuses on Freeman and any potential involvement with certain companies, whether or not they received any money, had business or contracts relating to the village.
Now, this is what the subpoenas say. The subpoenas that Tiffany said didn't get served. This what they said. This what they was there looking for, but she said it didn't happen. She's a nut.
One trustee says Mayor Tiffany Henyard has left them in the dark for months.
Since September, we haven't received financials. And the last time we did receive financials, we were informed that we were $7 million in debt.
The Legislative Council for the Board of Trustees says the feds may have a tough time getting the documents they're requesting.
The clerk is the custodian of the records. That's the good news. The bad news is she doesn't have any records because they have taken the records away from her.
I was being told that those documents probably have been shredded weeks ago.
The news of the Fed's Friday visit even drawing a crowd near Village Hall, as many in the community support an investigation into Henyard's practices. The trustees even hiring former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot this month to investigate the Dolton mayor.
The people of Dolton want to be rescued. They know they're bleeding. And they know there's no money left, and they live there. And so what's next? Police services, fire services, water, what's next?
The FBI did confirm that they were conducting court-authorized law enforcement activity in this area today, but could not comment further. Tonight, Mayor Tiffany Henyard posting on Facebook, pointing out that this was not a so-called FBI raid here at Village Hall, also adding in a statement, quote, "To all you clowns, that's a part of the circus. Misery needs company. I pray for you all. Stop chasing fake news."
That's just like saying Puff Daddy. The shit that happened to Puff Daddy house wasn't no raid. They just served subpoenas. They came asking for documents, ma'am, that you got to turn over or your ass going to jail. Play with them like you've been playing with everybody else and not turn over them documents. All right, we're getting into the main story now. I don't know if this woman is currently Tiffany's chief of staff or former. She said that she hooked up the Roland Martin interview, and she's been outspoken against Tiffany. So I don't know how she would still currently be her chief of staff the way she be talking about it. But she did an interview on the Real Late Night Crew a day ago. Let's listen to what she had to say. We're getting up out of here. It's only 42 minutes long.
So what I did was I didn't want to write a speech, but I did want to speak from my heart. So first and foremost, I want to apologize to the residents of Dolton because I feel like this administration failed you all. So I do apologize. Let me talk about, first and foremost, why I joined Dolton let me just tell you why I came in the first place. So basically, you know, you got a 37-year-old woman. She made history. Black woman, single mother. You know, that kind of resonates with me, right? So I really thought it was going to be better. I'm like, wow, because, you know, you coming off the year of the woman. I mean, how can you not vote for it? We just put Kamala Harris in office, right? Yes. So I went and I met with her. I met with Tiffany because she had hired someone to be her chief of staff who happens to. So I noticed she didn't want to meet with me inside of Dolton. Thought that was a little shaky, but then again, whatever. So we met out in a coffee shop out in Homewood. To the coffee shop in Homewood, she told me that she needed someone for PR. She told me that she had a public script to say when Alexis Wilson was murdered.
That lady, her mom was speaking at one of the board meetings that Tiffany needed security because of how I guess because of the reaction she got to the police shooting her unarmed daughter. Actually, we'll probably do that tomorrow. Same channel that I'm on now, I'm gonna share it out. He's interviewing the mother of her so we can get the whole story.
She told me and that the previous publicist told
Yes, I'm bound by darkness.
her to say what she said on television. My immediate response was, and you said it? So you read it and you said it? She said, yeah, I mean, because, you know, I just trust my people around me to tell me the right way. I said, but if you read something so insensitive, sis, you don't get in front of national television and say that. You're a mother. You somebody's mother. I'm like, but guess what? What we're gonna do, you're gonna go back in front of television and you're going to apologize. She said, oh no, I can't do that. How about we hold a press conference and you apologize? I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Dr. Nikita Cloud is in the building, y'all. So let me get her volume straight so y'all can hear her. Oh, no, y'all should be able to hear her now. Can you hear me, Dr. Cloud?
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear. How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you this afternoon, early evening?
So I'm doing pretty good, actually. I'm going to support some friends at a concert tonight.
Oh, okay.
In Naperville.
Naperville. Yeah. I know somebody in Naperville, but that's another story for another day. Dr. Cloud, would you be so kind as to just introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about yourself and how you fit into the Dolton narrative a little bit?
Absolutely. So I am Dr. Nikita Cloud, and I am a 17-year public relations professional. So I own a company, High Society Public Relations, which is also a full-service communication firm. So whether it's media training, public relations, communications, etc., that's what I do. The list goes on and on. So basically, how I got involved with the village of Dolton is I was brought in and interested enough. You're interviewing Cara tomorrow. It was regarding the Cara, her daughter, Alexis Wilson, who was very, very, very brutally shot and killed by a Dolton police officer. So they had a protest at her house. And Tiffany had just became mayor a few months, prior or whatever. And Tiffany came to me, and the way she presented the story to me was, I was told to say something, et cetera. And she said it. And next thing you know, it's her.
You're in a dark space too. Welcome. We bound by the darkness.
Whatever. Hey, y'all.
Do you know this funky wench wrote on her Facebook page that it wasn't no raid, it's fake news and misery need company? That's what this funky wench went on Facebook
I
and
saw
did after she
that.
seen all the news cameras. I don't like her.
Wait a minute.
She
See, this
just
is the
said,
thing.
she just don't give a
You have,
fuck.
I think you have made this story a little personal. I
It
mean,
has. She
why
like an
though?
annoying baby mama.
What?
She like an annoying baby mama. You give a black woman power and look what the fuck happened.
You know
Look at
what?
this shit.
We're
Look what
not
she
gonna do
doing.
that.
The feds
We,
is in there
we're not gonna
already.
do that.
She
We're
couldn't even
not.
get through the first term without the feds coming through, Truth.
I think
That's a
I asked this.
damn shame.
I asked you a minute ago, a while ago, when they was coming. I knew they was coming. Listen, there's no way that African American woman doing things that she was doing was gonna get away with it. I knew they were coming, Trey. I knew they were
I think
coming.
Keith snitched on her. We ain't heard from this nigga has
Yeah,
not turned himself in. I think he
he probably
snitched.
did. Listen. They already had shit on her. He probably just came in and just put the nail in the coffin. That's it. That's all.
When the subpoena they served, they were looking for a lot of shit with him. They was looking for files on 25 employees, like disciplinary records and shit. And then they came in looking for Keith Freeman files in the businesses and shit he was associated with.
Mm-hmm.
I think he snitched though, cause he ain't turned
Absolutely.
himself in.
Absolutely snitch.
He ain't made no Facebook
You
post
know
or
what the
nothing. That
Fed,
nigga done,
let me tell you
Tiffany,
something.
he done turned dime on you.
But let me tell you something with the feds, they will bring you in. And before anybody know you there, they'll have you back out of there working for them. That's how they work. Turn himself in for what? He probably already done been down now.
That's what I'm saying. That's why he ain't turned himself in, cause
Hmm.
he stuck a deal. He was like, I work for you.
Oh, absolutely.
He wearing the wire, Tiffany. You going to jail anyway, but you better not talk to that nigga because he
Trey, they
setting
don't
you
they
up.
don't Trey, they don't do wires anymore. They got more sophisticated.
It's still a wire.
Oh yeah,
Same
it's still a
difference.
wire. But you know when you say wire, you think about them things they used to tape on you. That's why.
The old
That's why I
school
got.
job.
That's why I got a microphone in that motherfucking belt buckle.
They got all the things Christian Keys get. Just
Hell
recording
yeah.
the fights everywhere.
Uh huh.
Now, but she better not talk to that nigga though. Seriously, he definitely working with the feds.
Hmm. Hmm.
But this her chief of, I don't know if she's her current chief of staff, ex chief of staff, however it is, but she is locked in with enough that she had something to do with the Roland Martin interview. She knew that the questions Roland asked were pre-approved and all of it. So she's in the loop, but she don't agree with it. So I don't see how she could still be her chief of staff. It's interesting though. We're gonna get to the bottom of it now. But that lady just be lying. She lie on camera, she lie on Facebook, she lie on her podcast. She just don't give a fuck about looking you in your eye and lying. I guess she's playing semantics and saying they serve subpoenas. That ain't a raid. But if they left with documents, that's kind of like a raid. She trying not to compare it to Puff Daddy shit. I guess that's what she was doing, but she called it fake news. So she's really tripping when everybody talking about this shit. They ain't come out there to waste their time, and they're not gonna publish this shit if it's not true. They've actually talked to the FBI, but she said it ain't happen. And she said she love y'all, and there's nothing y'all could do about it. I think that pisses me off too. I ain't gonna even lie. I think that line pisses me off. I don't want your love, woman, and I'm mad I can't do nothing about it. But you're going to jail. It didn't play.
Out to sort of, and that was on me. I said that the lesson I learned from that is to thoroughly vet. And it was a mess from there, just being real with you.
Well, before I ask you about Mary Henyard, because we definitely want to hear you about Mary Henyard, I want to know your thoughts, if you can give any, on Trustee Andrew Holmes in the Las Vegas situation.
Better known for his work as a crisis responder helping victims of gun violence, Andrew Holmes has also served for several years as a trustee in the village of Dolton. Holmes is now named in a civil lawsuit filed Monday by a Dolton police officer and former member of Mayor Tiffany Henyard's security detail, as well as a former village employee who believes she was sexually assaulted by Holmes. We are withholding her identity because of the nature of the allegations, which are now, according to 4 Dolton trustees, part of what former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot will take on in her new job as special investigator into Mayor Henyard's tenure.
She will be looking at it in a civil manner to give the board an idea. This is not a criminal matter that she's looking at in that respect.
The complaint says the alleged incident took place during a trip to Las Vegas in May of last year that included Henyard along with various employees from the village and Thornton Township. It was during the last evening of that trip that the complaint alleges police officer Byron Miles received a phone call from Holmes, who began describing a host of his exploits from the trip, many of a sexual nature. And there was some suggestion that she may not have had the ability to consent and or did not provide consent. It is at this point that, according to the complaint, Officer Miles began to record the call, which switched over to FaceTime. Trustee Holmes then panned the camera toward a bed where Officer Miles could see a woman who was partially undressed. The complaint goes on to say that the following day, when the woman in question woke up, she found she was in Trustee Holmes' hotel room, fully dressed. She was embarrassed as she believed she had blacked out. However, it was not, according to the complaint, until their return to Dolton that Officer Miles, suspecting that the alleged victim was not aware of what had transpired, went to her with what he knew. The lawsuit alleges that at a later meeting with the mayor, Henyard stated if that information got out, Henyard would be ruined and all of the work she had done would be lost. According to the lawsuit, within weeks, the alleged victim was out of a job and Officer Miles removed from the mayor's security detail. The lawsuit asserts claims against Henyard for retaliation. While our calls to Andrew Holmes have gone unanswered today, a spokesperson for Tiffany Henyard said they are cooperating, but would not comment on an ongoing investigation. They did, however, point us to a statement issued a few weeks ago before Holmes was specifically named, saying that the village of Dolton previously conducted their own investigation into the matter. Former police officer Miles was interviewed and denied knowing anything about these allegations. Also, despite numerous attempts by the village's independent investigators to contact the employee, she refused to give a statement or cooperate with our investigation. Unfortunately, this is nothing more than 2 disgruntled village employees who are trying to make off with the taxpayers' hard-earned dollars.
Andrew Holmes, here's the crazy part. In full transparency, I used to think Andrew was cool, right? Because Andrew is the one, and I mean, bro, I should have sent you these messages. Andrew used to, tell me not to trust Tiffany. Andrew helped pass literature for the recall.
What?
So that's my thing. So to see that they're besties, when I quit, Andrew Holmes was the first person to call me. Yeah, so but aside from all of that, I had a lot of respect for him. But not only like I know Andrew, I know the young lady in question. And I had a conversation with the lady in question. I believe the young lady in question. So to me, Andrew went from someone that, much like this young lady said, she called him Uncle Drew. I looked at him like, he was cool. But nah, slime ball. Because I looked this young lady in the face. She had no reason to lie. And I asked her certain questions 3 and 4 different times. And she answered the exact same way. It's the consistency in her story. And remember, I told you, when it comes to, I made a bad judgment getting in this mess with Tiffany. So I wasn't going to miss twice. Everything she said, she's not lying. And that's the thing. I would put my paycheck behind that. Like, she's not lying. Now, this is where it gets interesting. She shouldn't even have been at the conference to begin with in Vegas. Neither should Andrew, if we're being technical. And that's where it's like you put this young lady in harm's way in a place she shouldn't even have been. And if we're really being honest, Tiffany shouldn't have been at the conference in the capacity in which she was in, because it's an economic development conference. And I tell people to pay attention. It's an economic development conference. Thornton Township, for all intents and purposes, is a resource center for public assistance. They don't handle economic development. Economic development is bringing stores to your community. Economic development is bringing different businesses. It's basically, think going to like, the expo and different, or career fair, right? That's what this is. So you have all these different, Whole Foods, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, et cetera, right? They're all there. And then you go up to them, up to their booth, and you kind of try to make a deal. That's what that is. So you explain to me why our township employees who spent almost $70,000 at an economic development conference, then you take trustees from the township who should have been there with trustee Kiana Belcher, or trustee Holmes. Because at the time, trustee House. At the time, Jason House was the economic chair. Okay. So it would make sense for someone for finance, even Keith Freeman. If he would have gone as the village manager, he would have even been authorized to be there. But they went as the township. But then you take your detail? Stupid. But I'm happy the detail went this time, because had he not gone, and I hate that he's catching such a bad rap, but he's really the hero in this entire situation. Because if it wasn't for him following police protocol and recording what you did, we wouldn't even have the evidence that's out here today.
Well, do we know the official reason that the alleged victim was fired? Did she ever get a real reason?
No. So things I can't say. It's really her story to tell, but things I can say is Tiffany put her on FMLA, right? She put her on FMLA saying so she can sort everything out, because quite naturally, once she, discovered what had happened to her, she was freaking out, right? So Tiffany put her on FMLA. She did not ask to be on FMLA, according to the victim. However, next thing you know, victim wants some justice. The victim want to know what's going on. Tiffany got her out here hanging. And she's a solid young lady. This isn't one of those, she's solid. She's down to earth. You can have a conversation with her just like you and I are having a conversation. She's a good girl. She's beautiful. And next thing you know, she started asking questions. And unfortunately, it looked like she was asking too many questions from what I was told. And next thing you know, she's gone.
Yikes. Well, I guess how come the news won't mention Andrew Holmes? Why are they? It seems, I don't want to say they're afraid, but it just feels that way.
They didn't ran the story. They can't run that motherfucker every day. They ran the information that they get. So they have talked about it, but what else you want them to do? Bring it up every day? Nah, they're gonna wait till they get more. They're gonna wait till more action is taken. If he investigated it, brought in, arrested, anything of that nature, then they'll talk about it. Right now, it's just a civil suit. And it happened in Vegas, so Vegas police would have to be the ones to actually bring up charges.
No, the reason why is because it's the way the report was filed. Right?
Okay.
So this is the way it was explained to me because I asked the same question. In the report, the victim is listed, which is stupid. And shout out to Lori Lightfoot as well as Clerk Martinez, because they're actually in the process of advocating for a law, a bill to be passed to blind, the names, redact the names of the, alleged victims in matters as such. But right now, when you go to the Illinois Department of Human Rights places like that because she's the one who made the complaint. Her name is public information, which is unfortunate because she's a victim. But because he's the accused,
it's not unfortunate because in these cases, people do lie. And so people need to know the name, true or false. There's also in court, you have the right to face your accuser, so the name would get out anyway. But I don't think the people, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of torn on it. What do you feel about that, Truth? Do you think that victims should have the right to have their name redacted if they accuse somebody of a sex crime?
Yeah, I
Or
thought that
should
was
they
the
have to
thing
have
though. I
their
don't
name
think
on it?
that I thought that maybe that's just with kids though.
Yeah, for minors, they don't release the
Yeah,
names.
so I
But
thought
for
that
adults,
it'd be weird because sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. But yeah, I absolutely think that should be a thing. Yeah, I think that if victims don't want their names out there, then because in a sense you re-victimizing them because you just don't know what might happen.
but like in a civil lawsuit, you got to have the name in there, though.
No,
Somebody got to
because
win
I've
the
seen
money. They
no,
can't give the
because I've
money to
seen
Jane Doe.
that's what I'm saying though. I've seen cases like that where they were referring to hell, they were referring to witnesses as Jane Doe.
Yeah, now they can do witnesses like that, but the main complainant, they got to have their name. But yeah, people that's gonna corroborate that this person has that type of behavior, they can stay anonymous. But like when you filing the lawsuit, like her and that guy are filing a
No, I'm not
lawsuit against the
saying
city of Dolton.
yeah, but I'm not saying like of course the courts has to know who the person is, right? So the courts has to know, but I'm just saying I thought it was some type of way that even if the victim's name is like in the police reports and stuff like that, it was some sort of kind of way the courts can keep that person anonymous. But I guess that would be sort of hard, but I think it should be a thing for real, honestly.
I'm torn on it. I don't know. I see both sides of it, but I mean, you putting your name on it. That's you kind of standing behind what you said. That kind of
And,
is like
and,
a
and you and
sense
you
of
not know
power.
your name out there is not necessarily not standing on what you accuse that person of. It's just that it could be so many repercussions. Just like Infamous said, they become a target. When stuff get in the media, it gets ugly. You know what I'm saying?
What if they lie though and they get to stay anonymous? That's fucked up.
Well,
People
if they
should know that
lie,
person is a liar.
wait a minute, but if they lie and it's proven to be a lie, that changes things for me. But I know the courts don't work like that. Child, the courts don't give a damn. They honestly don't heal. I feel like the courts a lot of times fail to protect victims. I do. I feel that way. I think sometimes that the courts fail to protect the victims. It's like, to be honest, sometimes it seems like the perpetrator has more rights than the victim.
Remember we were talking about that the baseball player Trevor Bauer.
Hmm.
Interesting story. He got suspended in 2020. Now one of the women that a she's now being, and not because of anything to do with him, because she pretty much lied on another guy and tried to extort him the same way she did Trevor Bauer. Now she's facing charges
Wow.
because she's done like 2, 3 people like that, and everybody here, like 3 or 4 people come out. All
Mm.
of them have been proven to be liars. This man still ain't got his job back yet. This was 4 years
Yeah,
ago.
and that's terrible. And
The baseball
that's
ain't
messed up.
apologized to him or shit. And he was like, what more do I have to do to prove my name? Like, what the fuck? And get back to work. What the fuck do I have to do? He was like, I
See,
done
Trey,
sent
that's
y'all
why I
text
feel as though, but
messages,
listen,
emails.
that's why I feel as though, like, listen, when a so-called or alleged victim accuses somebody of something, especially like sex crimes and things of that nature, I feel as though if the courts they find out that that person just blatantly lied, and in this lady's situation, because sometimes when so-called victims lie on a perpetrator, and then the cops find out that they're lying, they're not prosecuted, like they're not held accountable. And I feel like that's another thing. I feel like if a person just blatantly lies and is found out and is proven, I think they should suffer consequences. Hell, the perpetrator was gonna go to prison. Why can't the person that lied go to prison?
And have to pay back restitution for all the money that
Exactly.
they made.
Exactly.
Pieces, money, time, and resources.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I'm gonna find it. Hold on. I was listening to this man the other day. He's at his wits' end. Now, he's still playing baseball in Mexico, but he's not. Baseball players be making $80 million a year and shit. He ain't making that type of money in Mexico. Where is it? I joined my team. Oh, he got his own YouTube
You know,
channel.
just like that
Fuck.
girl that
He
got,
was
you know,
subscribed.
just like that girl that lied about being kidnapped, the one that said she saw the child on the side of the road, she got to pay back all that money. All that money they put into that investigation. If that's part of her, you remember we talked about it. That's part of her plea deal. She has to pay back all that money that.
Okay, it's fun.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was trying to find the video.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she has to pay restitution. She has to pay back all that money that they dished out, you know, all the resources they dished out in that case. And a lot of people should get that punishment. Like they made an example out of her, I feel, but it's a lot of people that deserve that punishment.
The Duke lacrosse chick, she wasn't
Right.
punished, and then she ended up going to jail a few years later for murder.
Right. See?
I didn't know Nate. I didn't know Trevor had a channel. We going into a deep dive
Who?
since he got his channel. See what the fuck he been saying. Trevor Bauer, the guy, the picture. I didn't know he had a YouTube channel.
Oh.
So next week or so, we going into a deep dive on his story because he didn't literally lost hundreds of millions of dollars because of false allegations.
It happened. This woman who perpetrated a Me Too fraud has been indicted for fraudulent schemes and theft by extortion. I never thought this day would come.
Nate the lawyer.
Okay, buckle up. This story is insane. This is Trevor Bauer. He is a former Cy Young winner in Major League Baseball. That is the highest accolade a pitcher can get. But as a multi-millionaire pitcher, women were after me by to you about another woman who straight up lied about how Trevor Bauer
Trevor Bauer is speaking out after settling a lawsuit with a woman who accused him of sexual assault. Bauer released accuser, set him up, and was trying to take his money.
Trevor says everything was completely consensual. He also released these text messages that came out in court indicating that you had planned the whole thing out. So I want to read some of these texts from you to a friend between the two of you before you met Trevor, this one. Star pitcher for the Dodgers. Okay. Victim is
This is what this white's text her friend. Next victim, whatever that means. Star pitcher for the Dodgers.
interesting choice of words. I'm going to allow you a chance to explain yourself. But after you agreed to meet, you asked your friend what you should steal. Your friend answered his money. He says another one from you.
What should I steal? She in this rich nigga house, and she hit her friend up after she already said, next victim, she asked, what should I steal? These white women too, man. These white women, I got to point that out. White women with the shit too. All women are with the shit.
To a friend, I'm going to his house Wednesday. I already have my hooks in. You know how I roll. With a screenshot in which you told him, tryouts don't scare me, Bauer. Pick a day and I am there. Here are some more after you and Trevor met up. Net worth is $51 million, to which your friend responds, bitch, you better secure that bag. Your text, need daddy.
Her friend had to be black. Her friend had to be black. Bitch, you better secure that bag. Her friend had to be black.
To choke me out. Being an absolute whore to birth is $51 million, to which your friend responds, bitch, you better secure that bag. Your text, need daddy to choke me out. Being an absolute whore to try to get in on his $51 million. You say this wasn't a setup. How can you expect anyone to believe that?
So yes, that accuser was a
A
strip.
lot of people are clueless on it. A lot of people are, because the media just swept it under the rug. They made it big headlines when he was suspended from baseball indefinitely, and then he had like a 189 something game suspension after that. He just got suspended without. He was suspended with pay at first, then they said without pay, then suspended indefinitely until the shit got worked out. But after they worked it out, no teams called. The MLB didn't apologize. No news stations came out, and but this one did, but it wasn't a big deal. They didn't put all the hoopla into it.
Up fraud. She was a liar. I mean, a monster liar. I am actually shocked that she wasn't charged with a crime. But that wasn't Trevor Bauer's only accuser. It seems like this guy loves a crazy woman. Now, let me introduce you to Adana.
My name is Adana. Adana, by the way.
Your name?
Adana.
Adana?
Adana look black.
Adana.
And something.
I'm from Adana.
She was
She got
crowned
some
Miss
nigga
Black
in her.
Arizona, USA
She black, Miss Black Arizona.
in 2016. Now, she can be found at Hey Adana on Instagram and has a YouTube channel.
Trevor Bauer switch it up.
She was also named one of the most eligible bachelorettes in Arizona. So now this beautiful woman meets picture Trevor Bauer, who's now $50 million richer, and starts demanding to have sex with them. So obviously, this story is a major story. This woman who's accused Trevor Bauer of assault is now charged with defrauding him. Now, I always like to see how each side is framing the story. So when you go on Ground News, you can actually come here and you can see who's covering the story and how many outlets are covering it. And one thing I noticed about the coverage of the story is that the left-leaning sources have a very generic title. For instance, a woman accused Trevor Bauer of sexual assault is now charged with defrauding ex-MLB player. Where on the right, they're a little bit more descriptive. Trevor Bauer accuser charged with allegedly defrauding ex-MLB pitcher by faking pregnancy. Now at Ground News, I get coverage details. How many articles are published about this story? A story summary and comparison. I also get links to all the articles. I also get the bias distribution, if it's a right-leaning or left-leaning source, and then I also get ownership. Who owns the source? Now, if you like being fully informed, go to Ground Bias. Again, go to ground.news, where you're going to see Trevor Bauer's accuser, the one who's now been arrested for fraud. She's going to literally be begging him to have sex with her. In females, for example, hormones present at ovulation can drive a woman to choose a cocky, confident man with a slight stubble and more masculine features. Men can sniff out an ovulating woman just by smelling her t-shirt. Women appear to prefer the smell of a man, dissimilar genes, which could give her a boost up the evolutionary ladder. I guess you smelled cocky and confident with slight stubble. I did make that comment that your shoulders look broad and are strong. My feminine lenses were on. Then she just comes straight out and says it, "Can I sleep with you?" She says, "I just want to sleep next to you again. I will be very quiet, promise. And I will sleep through. In the morning, I'll have to leave and will slip out with a blink." She keeps begging. "I'm not certain, but can I sleep over there later? I'm not certain if, but can I sleep there? It's peaceful for me." Now, after they slept together, she asked Trevor Bauer for a sample of his sperm so she can have his baby.
At one point, she even requested a sample of my sperm so she could have my child whenever she wanted to in the future.
So Bauer said hell to
This
the
had to be on his
nizzo on the
podcast.
sperm donor request. Then this woman, Lindsay Hill, made her false allegations against Bauer. So guess what? Adana said, "I slept with him too. Let me say he forced me to have an abortion."
Man, she straight up said, "Hey nigga, can I have a sample of your sperm
so I can get that money too?"
More than a year after the one time we slept together, and only after Lindsay Hill made up her false allegations, Adana retained a lawyer. She then demanded $3.6 million and claimed I forced her to have an abortion, leaving her emotionally devastated and irretrievably damaged by it. But here's the thing, she never had an abortion because she was never even pregnant, and that's corroborated by her own medical records.
Then Adana just said, "Hey, let's just stop with it. He assaulted me too."
She made up a bogus sexual assault claim and filed a civil suit against me. In that version of her story, she claimed, for the first time, by the way, that there was non-consensual sex. But her texts from the next morning show what actually happened. Remember this text in which she explains why she came onto me?
Now, she did find a law firm who would negotiate whether she could get a settlement or not. How do we know that? Well, here is the email. "Great. I appreciate your time and input today and am glad we can agree to $750K to $3.6 million as a settlement bracket. As explained on the phone, we will start high and understand the lowest you will accept to settle is $750K. Have a beautiful day. And she writes, I agree, I appreciate, and thank you. But now we had a problem. She was saying she had an abortion, but all the documents and all the medical records said she was never pregnant. Now, because the evidence was so not there, her lawyers had to drop her. Here's the email. Quote, to confirm without proof of the abortion or even a date of the abortion, we cannot continue to represent you. We urge you to consult with other attorneys who may have different standards. This is the lawyer saying, you're full of crap. Good luck. So then Adana found some other lawyers to represent her, but Trevor Bauer had some more ammo. He sent them over an audio recording of her disproving all of her claims on tape.
And shared an audio recording I have in which Adana contradicts her own claims and asks me for money.
Now Adana got some new attorneys. So now with all this evidence, the audio recording, no medical records even show she had an abortion. And on top of that, she was never even pregnant. These last attorneys had to come to Jesus moment and claim that, hey, we got to drop you because you're full of crap. Quote, hi, Adana. As your legal counsel, we have all agreed that the recording is detrimental to your case, to the point that we are very likely not to be able to continue representation of you on this matter. We are requesting a copy of the recording to verify the authenticity. I know this is difficult news, but without medical records of your abortion and a recording like this, this is what we feel is insurmountable. Hugs, Amy. Now, since the police department were investigating her claims of sexual assault against Trevor Bauer, they got the same evidence that Trevor showed you. And then things turned really bad for Adana. She went from victim to suspect, a suspect who's extorting powerful men for money. So the police took their evidence and turned it over to the DA's office, and the DA then indicted Adana. Here is that indictment. Now, one shocking thing in this indictment is that Trevor Bauer wasn't the only person she was trying to extort. This other guy, Marco Berlusconi. Quote from count one of the indictment, she knowingly did obtain a benefit from Marco Berlusconi and Trevor Anthony Bauer by means of fraudulent pretenses, representations, promises, or material omissions. And it seems like she had it in for our friend Marco here, because the document says in count two, she knowingly did obtain a sought to obtain property or services from Marco by threat to expose some secret in the future on social media, whether it's true or false. That is what they were saying she was doing to my man Marco. Now, Arizona has 6 classes of felonies. Class 1 is your premeditated murder that gets your life in prison, and class 6 is your non-violent offense. Very, very minor felony. Now, Adana is being charged with a class 2 felony, which is pretty high. That's fraudulent schemes. Essentially, this is trying to gain a benefit, money, under some type of false pretenses. Second is theft by extortion, the class 4 felony. And that one, Marco is the sole victim. This was the pay me or I'm going to release bad information about you. Now, for the class 2 felony, she's looking at between 3 and 12.5 years if convicted. And for the class 4 felony, the extortion, she's looking at a range between 1 and 4 years. Now, think about this, people. Trevor Bauer, I don't know this guy. Hell, I don't even know if I like this guy. But this guy has had 4 women either recount their stories or straight up have been caught lying about him assaulting them, which is insane. And these false allegations cost them a lot. It's cost him a multi-million-dollar major league career.
Glenn and Lou, this is a landmark decision. It is the longest suspension of its kind, and it is a stunning move by the Major League Baseball commissioner in response to allegations of sexual assault and domestic violence. Some fans are now saying they believe this is far too harsh a punishment for a man they believe is not guilty.
He got suspended for 2 years with no proof.
The firestorm swirling around Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer takes a shocking new turn, with Major League Baseball suspending the right-hander for 2 full seasons without pay, effective immediately. According to reports, the suspension does not include the 99 regular season games Bauer has missed since being placed on administrative leave on July 2nd, 2021.
He had already missed half a season because they played like 182 games. He missed 99. Then he got suspended for 2 years, and they weren't going to take into account half the season he already had served, while they just was deciding because they said it was bad publicity around the game and the team. So they just stopped paying him and had him on administrative leave.
MLB announced this decision following an investigation into domestic violence and sexual assault allegations made against the pitcher. The Dodgers say the organization takes all allegations of this nature very serious.
All four have either been counted or been proven to be liars. What investigation did the Dodgers do?
And does not condone or excuse any acts of domestic or sexual violence.
Now, Trevor Bauer is not pitching in the major leagues. He's pitching in Mexico because of these allegations. But I want you to hear from him what he says at the end of this video.
At this point, I'm not sure what else I can possibly do to prove my innocence in all this. I did not do what I was accused of. And every institution that our society is entrusted to rule on issues like these, like courts, judges, law enforcement officers, prosecutors, they all agree with me. They've rejected every single claim made against me, even going as far as charging one of my accusers with a felony. If any evidence of any of these claims actually existed, I would have been charged, or at the very least arrested. But that never happened. What else do I have to do to prove that this entire situation has been a massive lie? This is insane. At what point do I get to go back to work and continue earning a living?
So this woman is facing
never arrested or charged, lost his career.
Multiple felony charges, and Trevor Bauer can't get his job back. And we have so many examples of this. Saif Khan, who I interviewed on the channel, he's a former Yale student who's literally now suing his accuser for defamation. He was found not guilty in a court of law, but Yale still kicked him out of the school.
I mean, people watching across the country hear that you were accused of something. You said it was consensual. It was eventually acquitted of this. Why did the university decide to kick you out anyway?
They are a corporation. They are not the government.
All right, we're going back to Dolton, but remember that while all this Diddy shit going on, niggas is hopping on the Cassie wave. Nobody had anything to say about Diddy and wasn't suing Diddy to Cassie, including that little bitch Rod. He ain't had nothing to say till Cassie came out. Now everybody got a Diddy story. He did this, he did that. Hit it back to Dolton.
Because she's a victim. But because he's the
and I guess, see that story there, Truth. I guess I played that story because that's one of the reasons I feel like the name, if you're gonna accuse somebody of sexual assault, especially, your name need to be out there. So if it's not true,
yeah, I understand that.
You could be pointed out to be a liar.
Yeah, that's true. But this is the thing. I still feel the way I feel. I just say that if it's proven that they're lying, okay, and two things need to happen. Yes, of course, their identity needs to be released, and also they need to be charged with something. I feel like a lot of people lie about shit because they get away with it. Like, honestly, like that's ridiculous. And then you cause people their livelihoods. Because one thing, I think somebody put it in the chat, made a good point. Once you accuse somebody of something, whether that person is found guilty or not, they still have that jack, like they still have that stain. And if you lying, that's jacked up. Like that man's career being ruined the way. That's that. And a lot of time it be a motherfucker who, if you suing for defamation, you ain't gonna get shit. So it's bad. It's really bad. But I always said that I people that one person come out and get some money, then all of a sudden it's me, pick me too. You know how I feel about that anyway. So it is what it is.
She's the one who made the complaint. Her name is public information, which is unfortunate because she's a victim. But because he's the accused, until actual charges are filed, he's still considered innocent until proven guilty.
Okay.
And that's consistent between Illinois and Las Vegas.
Okay, that makes much more sense. Explain to me that way.
I also want to point out the fact that Las Vegas has a penalty of sexual assault where this allegedly happened at. You can get life in prison. So you know they're going to cross every T. They're going to dot every I. So due to the nature of this case, they have to be 100% sure.
Okay. All right. Well, if that's the case, then that makes all the sense in the world. Can you break down shortly? Can you break down the mayor's pay between her two positions?
You make almost $300,000 between your two elected positions.
I do not. I don't know where you got that number from.
Because you're the one who knows it so well.
Yeah. So in the village of Dolton, she gets, I want to say it was 60,000. Don't quote me. She gets a smaller amount. We'll say that. But she's also the liquor commissioner
50,000
in the village of Dolton. So she get another, 20, 30. So she's looking at about 80 from the village of Dolton. Then she gets 225, 250 at Thornton Township as the supervisor, but she also gets an expense account. So that's putting her, she's well over 300,000. She could be honestly close, touching on 4, because you also have to consider the fact that she gets a per diem. So when she travels, she gets $600 a day on top of everything that she gets. So, which is crazy, because that's when it comes to like black math, right? Because she has more than enough money to pay for all of her own stuff. She has more than enough money to pay her own car note. She has more than enough money to hire her own detail. She actually has an expense account that can do all of that. But instead, she puts that part aside, and then she still uses the taxpayer. Well, all of it is the taxpayer money, but she used, money that's not allocated for that. And it's sad. It's unfortunate to the people, because you guys still think about it. And I know that it's a lot of conflict. A lot of people say the people of Dolton make $24,000 a year. That's not necessarily true. But it does go based off of the census. So it's the lesson to be learned here is you got some good people in Dolton. You got business owners in Dolton. You got doctors. You got attorneys. You got good people in Dolton. But if you're not answering the door to do the actual consensus when they're knocking at the door, and the only ones that are knocking at the door are the ones making $24,000 and $36,000 a year, you're going to look like the entire community is that, because you got to do the law of averages based off of who answers the door. You got to look at it like this. Think of Kiana Belcher, right?
Okay.
Highly intelligent.
They better start doing this shit online.
These women driving luxury vehicles. These women, and they're not, these are just two. Brittany Norwood. She's a whole real estate investor. Badass, right? And then you got, and then let's be honest, slumlord or not, Tiffany owned real estate. You know what I'm saying? So these women are not, they're for what is, as far as they're well-to-do women. And it's not just them. It's many. Look at Miss Stubbs. Did you see her building that she owned? That's not a two-flat.
No, it's not. It is not.
So, Mary Yvonne, she's an ex, law enforcement pro. The list goes on and on and on of the people who are in Dolton, these people are doing. Jason House, come on now. Those, he's just a banker, so the people are there. It's just, it's packaged bad and it looks bad, but it's those people. Dolton is like Mayberry. I hate that we have such a bad rap.
Not Mayberry.
Well, I have to ask you, because you're the only person who could probably answer this question I've been wanting to know forever. Does Tiffany ever listen to anyone around her? I know she don't all the time. Does she ever?
No. See, and that's the thing. So I say a lot that this is how I explain it. She listened to two people, and both of them are men. She's not a girl. And I know that sounds crazy. So imagine she bringing me along. She liked me because I present well. Hey, girl, and aside from politics, Tiffany is cool. Politics, if we were just sitting back, she could be on a show, you will have a blast with it. But when it comes to handling business, Tiffany is just not that person. And when it comes to that, then she got that grimy side to her. She would definitely be that girl, man, I ain't gonna trust Tiffany scamming ass, but I hang out with her. You know what I'm saying? She's like that shit, right? Because she'll get you if you let her.
Okay, can I use y'all's microwave right quick?
Not her scamming ass.
Some chicken.
Give it here, I'll do it.
Nah, see, I was hoping that I could take it to the house with me.
But on the flip side, it's the way she handled business and her mentality. Everything is get money, get money, get money. A lot of people are saying that she's who they call her little. No, she Kasha from Power. Mentally, she believes that she's Tasha from Power.
I'm done. Wait, you gotta help me with this.
I ain't got to help you with shit.
Gosh, come on, this Tommy thing ain't going nowhere. It's not gonna be good for anyone. You know that, Tosh.
Now this time goes,
What do you mean?
you made this mess, you fix it. Oh, and by the way, I want a divorce.
And I listen.
Never
Tasha
seen
from
that
Power.
show in my
and
life.
think about how Tasha was.
Yes.
Trey, you need to check it out. It's
You
a
know, like,
shit.
she
It's the
loved that
bomb.
I have no idea in watching that niggerdom. No
You
interest.
what? You have no interest in watching
Have-
what?
That niggerdom. I don't want to watch all of
You
that.
watch other niggerdom. You watch fight videos and shit of that nature. You watch all kind of niggerdom.
I actually don't watch fight videos. I don't get anything out of those.
Right, I saw a video that got thousands of views on your channel where a motherfucker was fighting.
I had posted that was in my. I had changed. I had just
Oh, you
posted it
changed
because
now.
it was getting
Oh, hell
views
nah.
back then.
Is it true that the residents can't
It was getting views back then and see it down. YouTube
Oh, you
don't allow to
changed.
fight
Okay.
videos no more.
Whatever.
Yeah, I was just posting. I was just reporting.
Okay,
I was just
great.
reporting this out. It was a fight. I used to have a whole bunch of fight videos too.
I haven't seen them. They done popped up on my. They done popped up. I mean, you got the girl in the gas station with her ass out and things of that
They
nature.
didn't.
Nigga
Shit, they did age restricted most of them jets. But I was speaking out against this. Shit. Like, look at these motherfuckers. Why? YouTube ain't playing about this shit now.
Who's that ice rink that she brags about?
Hey y'all! It's your mayor, Tiffany A. Henyard, the people's mayor. We here in the village of Dolton and we about to get our skate on. Remember, when all 5 of them trustees said no, look what God did. Hey y'all!
Damn.
It's your mayor, Tiffany A. Henyard, the people's
Damn. She said God got them folk the skating rink when it was the taxpayers' money. It was God. You illegally paid for it. You signed off on it by yourself.
We here in the village of Dolton and we about to get our skate on. Remember, when all 5 of them trustees said no, look what God did.
And then she
The
laughed.
ice rink has never been used for anything other than an event for Tiffany. Someone I see in the comments asking why does the residents vote for her. Let me address that. I have to address this on your show.
Got it.
People, the residents did not vote for Tiffany. So let me explain this whole 82%, 82%. Let me break it down again. Because even when I saw the trustees video come out, I'm like,
82%, but they said she only won by 102 votes. Then they were saying, well, I guess in the other place, the board voted her in the supervisor position.
one little piece that I needed you guys to hear. Okay, so you have a general election, right? You got a primary and you got a general election, right? In that primary election, she won 82% because the current mayor was not, he didn't do what he needed to do, and then you gotta look at it like this: he was already not going to make it, right? He already had 4 approval numbers, and then I want to say. We have to pull the numbers up on the Cook County Board of Elections, but I want to say the other guy wasn't a resident, so he wasn't going to make it, right? And then, he was on there, and then Andrew Holmes, where his residency, Tiffany is the one who challenged it, came into play. So she won that, right? She was supposed to. She won it, but she won like by the hair of the chinny chin. So then she went and assembled a dream team. Now, if you look at the numbers of the dream team, she got the lowest numbers out of everyone. Jason House, if that was the mayoral election, Jason House, who had 1,400 votes, Tiffany only had 1,000. She won on a technicality. So she says 82%. You got to also consider the fact it was COVID. Seniors were not, the majority of the voters in Dolton, they're not coming outside. Remember, it was so many seniors that stayed in the house. because they was afraid to come outside because of COVID. So now you're expecting seniors to come outside and vote. They're not going to do that. And you add the fact that was a February election. So it's cold outside, right, which is generally always a lower voter turnout. So, and then she had her ticket. Kiana beat her. Jason beat her. Brittany beat her. Kevin Bowens beat her. She had the lowest out of all the numbers. So the people really did not vote for her like people think she did. She was just the only one left on the ballot.
That makes sense when you put it that way. Okay. So, okay, that definitely makes more sense. Can I ask, can you speak on possibly how long she's known Roland Martin?
So I want to set the record straight. I don't have a foundation. I am a supporter of anybody that's struggling with cancer. My mom had breast cancer, and I'm always push anybody that has that. If someone uses my name to push their charity, or if you say this is Tiffany t-shirt, people gonna buy it. Because right now, consider what? Clickbait. People make money off of my...
But you didn't tell nobody it was your friend, Keith Freeman, the one who got a job in Thornton and in Dolton. That's who name was on it. You didn't say that's who was using your name. You made it seem like it was a random nigga just capitalizing off your name.
Name by views. So you just pay my name. I don't. I do not. And that's why I tell everybody, go do your research. I'm not on anything.
She didn't know Roland Martin.
She don't?
So basically, no, she don't know Roland Martin. What happened with Roland Martin is Roland Martin, okay, she has a publicist. So she has two publicists. She has a political publicist and she has a reality star publicist, right? Her reality star publicist thought it was a great idea to put her on a press run with people who would softball questions because she knows that Tiffany is not a strong interviewer. So what better place than to do than to send her to New York and give her the interview. Now, what happened was Roland Martin, how the publicist had a relationship with Roland Martin. So the publicist, ABC, called Roland Martin, listen, I can get you this interview, but, Tiffany has a pattern of saying you only can ask her pre-approved questions. Now, that's not uncommon. Sometimes, like if you were interviewing Barack, if you were interviewing someone like that, usually what they do is you have to turn in pre-approved questions. So that was how it went down. Roland Martin could not ask her the questions he wanted. Otherwise, she wouldn't have granted him the interview. Now, things that people don't know was she tried to get this same interview with Charlamagne, who said, I'm going to ask you what I want. And if you can't, no deal. If you can't answer the question. He put his integrity, which I thought he would have done it, but Charlamagne said no.
Ooh.
But remember, Angela Yee,
she gone.
Angela, she gone, because she need numbers.
Yep, she
took the interview. Exactly. So that's what happened. But no, to Roland's defense, and I had a conversation with him, so I can honestly confirm this. He was doing a solid pre-approved questions, and then, but where he threw the curveball at, I have the relationship with Roland Martin. Why would you go at Jason's house like that? I was the one who secured that interview for Jason. And I wasn't okay with that. But guess what? I'm the one, just so Tiffany, I know she's watching, I sent him the clip that showed her lying.
And I remember when you said you were going to do that. I remember you said you were going to do it and you did it. That's when I started paying attention.
Yep. I hit him right on his phone and gave him that clip. Someone asked who are the taxpayers? The taxpayers? Yes, the taxpayers are paying for two public relation firms. And get this, they're 2 six-figure public relation firms. So the taxpayers are paying about $200,000 a year in public relations. Because I know when everyone saw the 60,000 or something like that for the one Cornerstone, everyone's talking about Cornerstone.
Right.
But at 60,000, because it took them 5 months to get paid, they're charging about 10 to 15 grand a month.
Hey.
Public relations. I'm just saying, we do get paid like attorneys.
Yeah, but who she using ain't that good, are they?
No, just saying because I'm confident that who she's using.
I don't watch number sports on TV.
Good.
She just don't listen.
Here's the fact: you don't listen. She didn't listen to me. Anyone who knows can confirm. Tiffany and I clashed a lot. My husband is sitting here. He can tell you, Tiffany and I clashed a lot because Tiffany does not listen to constructive feedback. And when the truth is, I'm quite generally looking to save your reputation, keep you out of trouble. Because if I have to do crisis management, you're going to have to pay me more.
That's another position.
Yep.
I'll get you out of here on this one. If you can answer this, is there any way possible you can speak on what happened after the adjourning of the meeting?
But obviously, I don't think that's the case. I'm very proud of the Dolton Police Department. We're moving in the right direction in what we're going to do. Officers, we're gonna shut it down. Ladies and gentlemen, for right now, for safety reasons, we are shutting the meeting down.
Oh yeah, that's when the stream went silent. That's when everybody had walked out the board meeting that time and the stream went out. It almost seemed like people had walked back in and he was like, "We're gonna cut it."
Oh.
And
that's where he asking her what happened there. Because yeah, you do see people walking back in.
That happened on Monday.
All right. And I got a good feeling the young lady is on your chat, but I'm going to tell you. This is what happened. The young lady walked in, and I believe she had on a mask. She had on a hat, so they did not notice her. And she stood up there with the media the entire time. So when all of the media turned and left, she walked and sat down. Because remember, they said if you're going to leave, leave. Or if you're going to stay, have a seat. She sat down. Gibberish.
All right. Thank everybody for staying that actually came here to hear what we do in the village of Dolton. As you just saw, it's chaos amongst our 4 trustees. They didn't come here to handle the business. They came here to do a political theater stunt, which you just saw. We didn't get through any business as it relates to a scheduled board meeting here in our village, which we're supposed to do. But yeah, everybody cry about meetings and we should have more. Why have more meetings when it's going to just be chaotic like this? Our job is to make sure we take care of the business and not allow the business to handle us, which you just saw before you. It's a shame that every time it's time to really take care of things, such as making sure payroll is paid. But guess what? It is on paying the police, the public works, making sure your concrete is down. They did not vote on none of that. But this is the thing that I face as a mayor here in the village of Dolton. And it's sad because you're why. I can't make this up. Y'all see that people walk out at every single board meeting. You see when we had the other board meeting, they walked out when there was a $33 million issue on the table where we supposed to win a closed session. We would have made sure we was in a better predicament if they would have stayed and made sure they took care of the business. But yet the media don't report that. It's good to see the media out here, but I wish you guys would come for the positive things and not the chaos and not the media show, because that's all this is. I get it. We're clickbait. We're hot right now, and I get it. This is what sells papers. But I wish you guys would have came to our Easter event that we had on, what was that, Saturday? We had over 500 kids out there happy, running around, giving away baskets. It was amazing. But you should want the good stories just like you want the bad stories. But it's sad that people tell you false information.
You put kids out at the
y'all
Easter
run
event.
and y'all write it. Y'all know y'all can destroy people. Not true. And then later that person have to sit there and try to fix what you guys have broken because y'all have a national platform. So this is my outreach to the media, which I said it several times. Please, please do your research. You guys call yourself journalists. Please research the stuff before y'all put things on your national platform and hurt people that should not be political. Y'all want to make a story for clickbait. That's all right. And I get it. People sell their souls. I get it. You want to be the hottest thing right now. I get it. You guys go and y'all get awards for who got the best story. I get it. But please stop destroying people's lives and tell the truth, please. And then if you follow me, y'all should have paid attention to the Tiffany Henyard on the Move podcast. All the
Promoting
things
the
that y'all
podcast at the public
all
meeting.
fake and false. I showed y'all the truth. Y'all get the same footage y'all had, but none of y'all played. Y'all had to make it like we was lying, like I was lying. But you guys was telling lies, and that's not cool. So that is my information to you guys. So I don't know how y'all gonna spin this meeting or say whatever, but show the fact. All the trustees walked out because they couldn't have their way. And that's not how government works. Government works like this: good, bad, or indifferent. We work together. We put on a good collective front for the public, and we fight in the back. But yet people came here for a stunt, a show, because all y'all came out. I don't never see y'all come out for nothing positive like this. How y'all came out like this, come out to the next thing that we have. Just like y'all out here for the bad press, which people won't clickbait. So with that being said, we're gonna get through what I've been doing as your mayor of the village of Dolton. And thank you, residents, for always supporting me, loving on me, and encouraging me and keeping me in your prayers. Because I need that. Because as you can see, I'm under attack. So thank you. First, I know we was going to entertain a couple issues. The media wrote about Bravos who got shut down in our village.
What was that?
The media wrote about Bravos who got shut down in our village.
They got to be the stupidest motherfuckers.
The media wrote about Bravos who got shut down in our village.
I'm losing my motherfucking mind, man.
For multiple shootings, multiple fights. But yet again, this is what I mean about you guys not doing no research. Y'all just let that man go on the news and tell those lies. I'm going to let Chief Lacey speak to that because we shut them down. Yes, we shut them down here in the village. And then guess what? When they opened back up, they had another shoot. Another shoot. Did y'all come and write that? And all I'm saying to y'all is the fight that we in, y'all don't live here. You go off of hearsay, what somebody told you, and don't fact check. Y'all call me when a shooting happened, but y'all don't call me when something positive going on in the community. Come on, media, let's build a relationship and stop letting people around us dictate what our relationship is. This is my olive branch to you, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Please fact check before you write about something that you know nothing about, because you're in the middle of our political fight, as you can see. We didn't pay nobody today. No bills got approved. How do we fix the light poles on people's blocks that they're crying about? Because the way y'all got it, people want to get paid first before they come out and do work for us. That's bad. We a whole village, a whole municipality.
What was that?
That's bad. We a whole village, a whole municipality.
They got to be the stupidest motherfuckers.
That's bad. We a whole village, a whole municipality.
I'm losing my motherfucking
Not municipality, a municipality. Municipality, just the mayor.
mind, man.
And we can't get things done because of all of this negativity on our village. And what hurts my, I won't say it hurt my heart.
Got you, bitch.
What hurts my heart is when you got board members hurting their time. Board members that's in government like me that don't care about where we're gonna go in the next 6 months, year, 2 years. Because at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, we still gotta live here. We still gotta get along. We still gotta move forward no matter what. And we have to fix the chaos and the stuff that you left behind, guys. Just writing negative stories. That's not right. I don't see y'all doing that in them upper areas like how y'all be dragging us over here.
Oh, no, you didn't. Wait a minute. No, you didn't.
I don't see y'all. But yet us every day, all day, y'all got us on your station. That's not cool. So I'm gonna pass the mic to Chief Lacey. Talk about the nightclubs and all the issues we've been having in downtown. So before y'all wrote the stories, you should have came and got real interviews from the people that got the real facts. Not people that just accusing and lying on people that don't end up in lawsuits. And watch what you say, residents and other people that just go on the news lying on people. That's defamation of character. But y'all don't see that.
Now, if you want to go renegade, go renegade, bitch.
Y'all just keep going with it just because it's traction for your network. That's not cool. All right, Chief Lacey, go ahead.
Look in eye contact with the media, hear my cries. Oh, almost said a man to see my seatbelt. Baby girl pulled that mask down.
Game over.
Oh, she pulled that mask down on her, hit her with that yeah. And Tiffany got up and she ran. So if you go back and you listen to the last 2 minutes of the video, you hear her telling Keith, hurry up.
Ladies and gentlemen, for right now, for safety reasons, we are shutting the meeting down.
Hurry up, right? Because I stand on what I'm saying. That girl is not to be played with. Wait until she I want to clear this up for her as well. People always say, why did it take so long for her to come out? It was not her.
Oh, so it was the girl that sued her for the sexual assault thing, suing her and Andrew Holmes. That's who was in the building still. She pulled her mask down and showed her face.
People don't understand. She's been in the process of going through interviews, vetting this information. It's a process. We can also say, why hasn't Tiffany been caught up by the, fact yet? It's a process.
And this was a day ago. The feds came. She ain't caught up yet, but they digging for a reason. You're going to jail.
Between the prayer and the promise is the process. So you have to look at it like this. You think that this is a case this big. From Illinois to Las Vegas, these people are not going to miss. But I will tell you this, from what I know and from what I've witnessed, there's undeniable proof that this happened, but it's gonna take a while for it to come out. So we just ask, just give everybody some grace on that. Just give her some grace. That's all I can say. And the truth is going to come out, whatever that looks like. They're not going to get around that. It's undeniable proof. I'll say that.
I appreciate you, Dr. Cloud. Any last parting words you'd like to say to all of LNC before you get out of here?
Yeah, I think what you're doing is awesome. I appreciate you putting the word out. I told Ms. Val that I gave you the video.
Yeah, my offer table serious.
You see, shame. Quite a bit Monday. And a lot of people, that's the last thing to look for our reviews on the ability. Former Mayor Lori Light.
The trustees are moving to hire Lightfoot to invest their mayor, Tiffany Henyard.
Yeah, that's stupid. Well, fuck it. I did not know it's an hour and a half in. Damn. Let's go to Alexis Wilson's parents speak out against Dolton, please. Let's go to it. We here.
Wilson's plea revealed the guttural agony of being father.
Who killed my baby? Why did my baby die?
That's my shit. Hold on. I don't like that. Let me close YouTube. That's his shit. Somebody need to tell him. All right, let's see here.
Who killed my baby? Why baby die? Look.
Yeah, this is shit.
It's been nearly 48 hours, and still the family says they've heard almost nothing about how their 19-year-old daughter and relative, Alexis Wilson, died near a Dolton restaurant around 1 a.m. Tuesday. Publicly, a Dolton spokesperson has said it was an argument at a drive-thru that turned to a car crash Tuesday morning. Police say they were called to Baba's Steak and Lemonade for reports of an angry woman with a gun in the drive-thru.
That led to more things being said, but it also led to Baba's in particular making a false call, making a police call saying there was a gun. When the police do arrive, they are absolutely ready, and they asked them to get out of the vehicle.
Police say the man with her got out of the car, but when Wilson refused,
the officer simply took his authority, reached into this young lady's vehicle, to force her out. They also striked her.
He was halfway in the vehicle trying to remove her, and that's when she took off.
A village spokesperson says Wilson's car dragged one of the officers and barreled toward the other.
She then ran into one of our Dolton squad cars and proceeded eastbound here on Sibley.
He says one officer fired into Wilson's car before it went crashing into a nearby bike shop. Wilson's family believes those gunshots killed Alexis Wilson. Wilson's family is demanding to see any video of the incident. A village spokesperson says one injured officer has now been released from the hospital.
I don't know that this I don't know now, Trooper. You listening to this story?
I am.
I don't know about this one.
Right.
She didn't get out the car. That's one. She took off, dragging a police officer.
I
There's
hear
two.
it. Yeah.
She ran into another police car. There's three. What they supposed to do?
All right. So listen. I know what you're trying to. I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're trying to do. Let's just listen to the story. Let's just hear
I'm
it.
not trying to do anything.
Yeah,
I'm
I know what
saying
you're
that
trying to
just.
do.
I'm not trying to do anything. I'm trying to say what they supposed to do in this situation. The way the
Okay,
mama
start
was
it over because I
hollering
need to be
at
clear on
the
how it started. Can you go back to like when they first started telling what
yeah,
happened? Yeah, because I want to make sure that.
take all the way back.
Okay.
Alonzo Wilson's pleas reveal the guttural agony of a grieving father.
Who killed my baby? Why did my baby die? Look,
It's been nearly 48 hours, and still the family says they've heard almost nothing about how their 19-year-old daughter and relative, Alexis Wilson, died near a Dolton restaurant. A Dolton spokesperson has said it was an argument at a drive-thru that turned to a car crash Tuesday morning. Police say they were called to Baba's Steak and Lemonade for reports of an angry woman with a gun in the drive-thru.
So they initially were there. I think somebody just said, why did they pull her over? They didn't. Well, the restaurant owner called and said that it was an angry woman out there with a gun. And so they showed up on, well, I can't even say they showed up on hiding bullshit because they ain't had their guns drawn, because I'm sure if their pistols was drawn, when he reached in the car to try to grab her out, she wouldn't have took off. Because the guns was already out. If the guns is pointing at you, that means they gonna shoot. They not playing with you. They not just upping it to just, hi, I got a gun. No, they let you know if shit go wrong, they are going to shoot and kill you. But it don't appear that they came out with guns blazing.
All right. So the restaurant owner called and said angry woman outside with a gun. Was it a fight or something, or she was just an angry woman outside with a gun? Like, did something happen inside the restaurant? And she
They don't
Hi.
know.
Okay.
They don't know. They weren't clear about it.
Okay.
That turned to a car crash Tuesday morning. Police say they were called to Baba's Steak and Lemonade for reports of an angry woman with a gun in the drive-thru.
That's it. The police said she was in the drive-thru angry. Could have been angry over an order, maybe. Who knows?
Who the hell pulls out a gun over anger? Now I done cussed the motherfucker out of time or two drove out there.
Truth, it happens all the damn time. It's a lot
People
of
pulling
crime.
guns and drive-thrus and shit. Wait a minute.
It's a lot. It's a lot of body cam videos like this. And
What?
just surveillance videos where old niggas is pulling out 6-shooters pointing at the nigga at Burger King and shit. I just did a story where a nigga shot the employee over the guacamole.
I remember that, but this is the thing. So, drive-through workers gonna have to start wearing motherfucking bulletproof vests and shit. I mean, are we really pulling out guns on? You know what?
Yes, it's a thing. Man, you gotta find some of them drive-through video shootings too, but a lot of them, they be threatening them. It's a whole bunch of them. It's one where the girl was sitting there waiting for her order after she pulled the pistol to act like they wasn't gonna run the cameras back for the police. She was like, "No, I didn't." Just sat there and waited though. She was like, "I'm not leaving until I get my food." Her dumb ass could have got away with it, but she
Who in the
decided to
hell
sit
wants
there.
food? Listen, who in the hell wants food from a person you done pulled the gun on? You better not eat that motherfucking food or you cry. Now, these people got to be mentally ill, Trey. Who pulls a gun on a
She
drive-through
probably was drunk.
Who pulls a gun on a drive-through worker and still demand their food? Girl, be all
A
type of
drunk
shit in there.
person.
You right. You gotta be. You gotta be. Cause the one time I cussed the motherfucker out and drive through when I drove off, I don't even want the shit. I don't want shit. I'm just saying, I'm gone. The fuck? These people crazy, ain't
That led to more things being said, but it also led to Baba's in particular making a false call, making a police call saying there was a gun. When the police do arrive, they are absolutely ready, and they asked them to get out of the vehicle.
Police say the man with her got.
They absolutely ready, so I guess that means that they had their guns
I mean, they
drawn and
saying
they
him
asked her
though.
to get out the vehicle.
Oh, so this started. Wait a minute, they saying him. I'm confused.
He was explaining about Baba's probably. He was saying Baba's. I don't know though. Hold on.
In particular, making a false call, making a police call saying there was a gun. When the police do arrive, they are absolutely ready, and they asked them to get out of the vehicle.
Police.
They asked him. I think he was saying they asked him like EM. He could have said him too, but misspoke. But I think he was saying they asked him like them, but M. They asked him to get out.
Okay.
See, the man with her got out of the car, but when Wilson refused,
the officers simply took his. When the police do arrive, they are absolutely ready, and they asked them to get out of the vehicle.
Police say the man with her got out of the car, but when Wilson refused,
the officers simply took his authority, reached into this young lady's car.
Simply, see, the way he talking, he act like he ain't do nothing wrong. He said the officer simply exercised his authority. He did have the right to.
So she was in the car.
She didn't get out.
She was in the car with a dude.
She was by herself.
I am so confused. Like, I am confused because I keep hearing him.
He's saying M like them. Like he talking about the police. He told him to get out the car.
He told her to get out the car?
Yes, but he's saying M like them. He told them to get out the car. But he just saying M. The country.
Damn.
He told him to get out the car, man. Then he took his authority on him. But yeah, it sounds like I don't know. He can't be a member of the family. He got to be just a witness because, again, this story is, he's saying the police officer had every right to go into the car. She wasn't getting out when they told her to get out. And they were telling her to get out because they were called there by the establishment and they said she had a gun. So she in the car and they trying to see what's going on. They ain't want to get shot at.
Vehicle to force her out. They also striked her.
He was halfway in the vehicle trying to remove her, and that's when she took off.
A village spokesperson says Wilson's car dragged.
Everybody else said he was just country talking.
Authority reached into this young lady's vehicle to force her out. They also striked her.
He was halfway in the vehicle trying to.
They also striked her. So he said, there.
Okay.
Remove her, and that's when she took off.
A village spokesperson says Wilson's car dragged one of the officers and barreled toward the other.
She then ran into one of our Dolton squad cars and proceeded eastbound here on Sibley.
He says one officer fired into Wilson's car before it went crashing into a nearby bike shop. Wilson's family believes those gunshots killed Alexis Wilson. Wilson's family is demanding to see any video of the incident. A village spokesperson says one injured officer has now been released from the hospital. The other is still being treated for serious injury.
Okay, so my sister actually used my middle name because she was afraid that you wouldn't let me speak. I'm Carla Wilson. I'm the mother of Alexis Wilson, killed by Dolton, Illinois police. At the time that my daughter was killed, Tiffany stood in front of a microphone much like this and said that she stood with the cops and they did do the right thing. 19-year-old child. Not only did she not take those words back, she didn't offer her condolences. She's never said anything. The first thing she did was hire this group of security guards to surround her and PR. So the real reason Tiffany has security is hiding from accountability about what she said about Alexis Wilson when she was killed. Now, if you watch the coverage of this murder, these officers violated her rights, reached in her car, jumped in her car, and put 7 bullets in my child. 2 in her head and
They did not violate her rights by reaching into her car because they were called there. It wasn't like they was patrolling and they saw her. They got a call from a business saying she was angry with a gun. They asked her to get out the car. She did not. See, this is the two sides of the stories. She said they unlawfully reached in. The other guy said he exercised his authority, which is true. They can physically remove you from the car if you don't get out and charge you with obstruction and resisting.
5 down her side. And the next day, you guys tried to spin it like she did something. Watch the video. She did nothing to deserve this. And again, Alexis, she's doing.
Wait a minute. She did nothing to deserve it, so she didn't drag an officer. No officer went to the hospital. She ain't hit a police car.
Now, look this way, look that way, every way, but at the person talking. You don't give a damn.
It's like the dad of the 18-year-old that was killed in the shootout with the police. Now, he talking about my son ain't no crash dummy. He know better than to shoot at the police. That's a death sentence. So he know better than to shoot at the police. But he walking around with a Glock with a switch. He burglary tools at 18 just a month ago, but he know not to shoot the police. Interesting, there was a gun in the car as well. But they're also saying in that case they believe that the officer that was killed was killed by friendly fire. The 17-year-old is the only one that's alive, and he still in the hospital, but he pending a lot of charges, including the death of that officer, 2nd degree, because they saying his actions is what caused it. But if his actions caused it, the other guy may actually be innocent. But he's still, I don't know.
And you never did, and you never acted like it. She called out a whole press conference to call my daughter a criminal, and Homewood Flossmoor graduate with no criminal record. But Tiffany, you have one, because we used your mugshot to protest in front of your house, and that's why you hid. That's why you have security. So let's tell the truth, which I know you're incapable of. I wouldn't trust this woman if she stood on a stack of bikes and had her tongue notarized. Not a damn thing she says comes out her mouth is true. Thank you.
Say it again.
Alexis.
All right, okay. All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, the meeting is now closed down. We need you guys to move to the door. Okay. Yeah, okay, just, hey, Lieutenant, just the one that's making the ruckus. Just the one that's making the ruckus. Escort him out.
Miss Carl Wilson, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing all right.
Go ahead and just go ahead and start off with the background of your story. I know, but please give us the whole story, please.
Okay. Well, Alexis Wilson was our 19-year-old daughter, the youngest daughter we had at home at the time. She was out with her boyfriend one evening, placed a DoorDash order where she paid for the order up front, and they offered a $10 off coupon to pick it up. So Alexis her and her boyfriend went to pick it up. They arrived.
That's why he was saying them and him, because the boyfriend was in the car. So there was somebody else in the car with him. Damn, she put that nigga life in jeopardy? Did he get hit? Let's find out.
Didn't have their order. They offered a $10 off coupon to pick it up. So Alexis her and her boyfriend went to pick it up. They arrived. The restaurant didn't have their order.
And that's when she got angry.
They denied them a refund. And I think they inverted the orders because you can see both cars that had just picked up orders, Alexis and the car.
He's up there to give a refund. DoorDash typically gives the refund, not the restaurant. You just go to your app and hit help and tell them I never received my order.
Behind her, circle the building and come back. So Alexis tells them this isn't what she ordered. She wants, her food or her money. They say that no, you're not getting anything if you don't take this. That's where you see them close the window, and she starts banging on that window with a plastic flagpole that I use to advertise feather flags outside of my business. So she picks that pole up and she's banging on the window with it.
Are you following True? She's angry about her money and she beating on the drive-through window with a pole.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she wasn't calm. She was angry. You got to be pretty mad to pick up a pole and beat on the drive-through window. Most people would just hump the horn.
This seems weird to me. Like, honestly, for her to do all that over some change, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a whole lot of money, not enough to be dead. This is weird. Like, what?
A $10 off, a $10 off coupon.
Right. Like, this is something
if you
else had to be
pick up the
going
food.
on. Something else had to be going on. Right, Infamous. I'm still waiting to hear about the gun that they. Now, I do have a question, and maybe you can't answer it, and maybe we'll hear it. Did they find a gun? Like, after all this, did they find a gun? Because you do know people have mistaken poles for guns. I'm just saying. I'm just asking.
And the guy looks in the.
I'm just asking.
I don't know, but the police showed up because of her actions, though, beating on the damn window with a pole.
When he tells her, wait. And that's when they go call the police. I pull up and she's banging on the window with it. And the guy looks in the window and he tells her, wait. And that's when they go call the police. But if you see the two kids in the car, relax. They sit back, they get on their phones, And then all of a sudden, these officers pull up.
So you mean they come after she just got through beating on the window? He ain't say nothing but wait. He ain't say I'm finna get your money. You just say wait. But she went from zero quick. It doesn't take a long time. That's my money.
Pull the vehicle and just open the doors on both sides. They pull the gentleman out on his side.
Okay, the kid's hands went up. The male passenger is escorted out. No issue, no scuffle.
And Alexis, she's asking, what did I do? Why do I gotta get out? His gun with he holsters it and takes. So he preps to hit her. He delivers about 2 punches. before Alexis puts her foot on the gas.
So he put his gun up. She got her hands up. They get the boy out the car, no problem. He not saying why I got out and all of it. He just gets out. Is the difference between men's interactions and how we think most of the time. Because there are those outliers where niggas will be resistant, but most of the time we just gonna comply and get this shit over with. But she said, man put his gun up and got in the fighting position.
During this time, he knocks her glasses off so she can't.
Was it at 10? Because you said she had her hand. If you go from hands up to your hands on the wheel and your car is still on, they've told you to get out, you don't, like not common sense, but the average person would think you're about to drive off. Your hands just went from being up to you saying, why I'm not gonna get out, to now on the wheel. You won't get out.
Her hands at 10 and 2, so she takes off, and she's got her face in the window because she can't see anything anymore. As she hits that corner and she sees him, she starts screaming and he starts shooting. Now, you know that they've only released limited by that evening to clearly make out what happened. And for some reason, those are not being released to the public. They contend that she aimed her vehicle. Well, you've looked at it. There's been at least 3 or 4 different stories they've told. They all end up with Alexis being dead. But they told it so many different ways, and every which way they told it makes her the criminal. So the first story, I believe, was that she aimed her car at officers, and that officer discharged 3 times.
One of the from the vehicle, and it was during that exchange where she put the car in drive and drove off, dragging the officer in the parking lot.
Howard says that she then drove toward another officer.
The vehicle was therefore being used as a weapon. That officer discharged his weapon multiple times into the car, wounding the female.
After hitting that officer, Howard off down the street, hitting a squad car. A surveillance in a nearby house captured what happened next. If you look just under the timestamp, you'll see the minivan crash into the bicycle shop. Howard says that the officer was still hanging on to the minivan when it crashed.
The vehicle is being used as a weapon.
Ma'am, so you can see the officer still hanging on to the car that crashed into a house. I'm just saying that what are they supposed to do?
So to be honest, even if the shooting was warranted, do you think the 7 shots? I think they said 7. Do you think the 7 shots was warranted?
That was from multiple. It was from multiple officers.
I'm breaking up, or are you breaking up? Let me go out and come back in because I can't. I'm breaking up.
It might be me.
Can y'all hear Trey clear? Because he's breaking up on my end. I'm trying to understand what he's saying. Y'all let me know. Because if it's me, I need to go out and come back.
I don't think I could. E. Brooks, my sound is going in there.
Oh, it was Trey. Okay, so I ain't tripping. Trey, you breaking up, and I can barely understand.
Let me check the Wi-Fi. Let me check the Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi? Okay. Y'all okay? Y'all okay? Y'all okay? Hey, Infamous. Hey, Can't Handle the Truth. Hey, Melissa. What y'all doing other than listening to this miss?
Yeah, I'm saying one officer shot 2 times, the other one probably shot 3 or 4 times. So that's why the 7.
Yeah, that was overkill for me. I'm sorry.
And it may have been, and it was 3 officers there because it was. Remember, they said it was one punching her. Then there was another one that was reaching in that was trying to pull out. So the one that was trying to pull her out while the other one was fighting. She was getting pulled from the left and right. So all 3 of the officers may have shot because the one that was in the squad car, he definitely shot because they're saying she was aiming the car at him. So he shot 3 times, and the other 2 probably shot 2 times a piece or however it went. That's about right for 3 officers. Everybody shoot 2 bullets a piece.
Overkill though, Trey.
Which is what you do when they teach you to double tap. Well, I don't know about the police. The military teach you to double tap. You shooting twice every time you pull the trigger.
The cap. She has 7 bullets in herself and several in my vehicle that didn't go into her. So none of the shots they shot from outside the vehicle made it to her. It was the guy in the vehicle with her.
I see the one that was inside the car. There was 2 hanging on. Well, the one that was probably inside more, he was the one that was probably in the car when it crashed because his legs were dangling.
So wait. I just remembered I heard something that I wanted to ask you. So were there kids in the car?
No, just the boyfriend and her. And the boyfriend got out. Let's remember, the boyfriend got straight the fuck out with no issue.
Okay.
She didn't.
Right.
The one because the restaurant didn't call on him. He was sitting in the car. It was her that was beating on the window. And then when the police come, she act like she wasn't just beating on the damn window with a pole.
I get it. Yeah, I'm listening. It's sad though. Sad. I feel like it was more. It seemed like it was more to it than just that money. That was just too much for her, and for her not to get out when the cops came. That's weird.
I want to talk to her boyfriend. That's what people should be trying to interview, because he was there from start to finish, and he can give his point of view from how he got out, and what happened from there, and why he can't. Well, he can't explain why she didn't get out.
I need to know. What I need to know is was there a gun found? Was there a gun? Because this is the thing. Like honestly, okay, so she was pulling off. She was wrecking. Okay, I get that. She needed to stop. I still need to know if they found a gun.
I don't think they did because the mom hadn't said anything about it. I don't think they did, but they didn't need to have a gun to shoot after she done pulled off with them in the car. No shots were fired until she pulled off with an officer in the car and she rammed into another police vehicle.
Yeah.
They were just fighting. They were trying to fight out the car.
Now, did he get hurt? That's a possibility. He chose to jump in the car when everybody else had.
See, I don't like that. I don't like that. Did he get hurt? It's a possibility. The man was in the hospital. Is footage of this nigga dangling from the car when it ran into the house. And said it's his fault. He chose to get in the car. Well, ma'am, I hate to be this guy, but one could say it's your daughter's fault because she simply chose not to get out the car.
Shots they shot from outside the vehicle made it to her. It was the guy in the vehicle.
Not the cap.
she has 7 bullets in herself and several in my vehicle that didn't go into her. So none of the shots they shot from outside the vehicle made it to her. It was the guy in the vehicle with her. Now, did he get hurt? That's a possibility. He chose to jump in the car when everybody else had jumped back. That was a choice he made. That girl wasn't trying to hurt anyone. She was trying to preserve her life.
Her life wasn't in danger if she had got out the car. It wasn't. Her boyfriend's life wasn't in danger. He got out. He got out with no problem. You didn't say one time he said, no, why I gotta get out or nothing. You said they got him out first. Patted him down the whole 9. He wasn't tripping. And she's saying everybody else bagged up, but he was in the car. They backed up because she was speeding off. So what about the reckless endangerment that she did? You said her
Well, she
glasses off,
definitely
she
would have
can't
had.
see.
Yeah, she definitely would have had charges had she not been killed. Yeah, but this a tough one right here. This tough because
Attempted murder, reckless
oh yeah,
endangerment.
all of that, They would have slapped her with so many charges. Um, I just, like I said, I just feel like it's something more to it. It's crazy. It's weird. Now, my thing is, okay, there is this notion that a lot of people are afraid of the cops, and I get it, right? So her saying that she was trying to preserve her life, I don't know, because
The boyfriend is alive today because he simply stepped out the car.
that's true.
At worst, she could have got out and explained what happened. At worst, she would have got a public nuisance charge because she didn't break no window, nothing. So there was no vandalism. Wasn't no gun in the car. If it would have been just a regular public disturbance that gone home.
I think the whole thing was heightened because it was said that she had a gun. And if she didn't actually have a gun, that's unfortunate because when you call and say somebody got a gun and the police come, they heighten like
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like
But her boyfriend would have been just as scared, yet he still got out with no issue. She should have followed his lead.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tough one.
And she has every right to preserve her own life. Just like they say they fear for their life, we have a right to fear for ours and to protect ourselves as well. She hadn't done anything arrestable that evening.
That's not
She
true.
got mad at a restaurant.
She didn't prior to her pulling off because she wasn't going to get arrested. They called to check out the phone call that they received. It wasn't, again, if they was out on patrol and just pulling her over and fucking with her, that would be one thing. But y'all know for a fact that the restaurant made a call and said there was an angry woman with the gun. So they showed up only with that information. They didn't have her side of the story. When they wanted to get her side of the story, which is you got to get out the car just in case there is a gun in here and we can have a conversation.
She absolutely should have followed the orders of getting out the car. I don't understand. She should have gotten out the car like the boyfriend got out the car. Definitely. I don't understand why he wouldn't encourage her to get out the car. Maybe he did. I don't know. But
it's not like she didn't have a clue why the police would be there. You just banged on a window with a pole. That's not normal.
Right.
And if you banging, you're not happy doing it. You're angry. Like, y'all gonna give me my motherfucking money.
I banged on a window. That doesn't deserve that. But the entire time, again, they lied about what their role in it was, how many bullets they let out, where she was shot. And my ex-husband identified Alexis's body, and it took them days. If you go back, there's a press conference where he's demanding to see his daughter's body.
All we want is justice, man. And they still, the Dolton police have still not told me who killed my daughter.
By the time we,
because it, sir,
it's gonna take time to determine that one. Yeah,
it was multiple officers that fired their weapon. They need
absolutely.
autopsy reports to determine the cause of death and which bullet actually killed her.
Absolutely.
That
And I think they
that's a
said
lot of
something
forensic
about.
work.
I think they said something about a gunshot wound to the head, but that could have not necessarily been
The fatal one. Yep,
right.
2
It
to
was
the
so
head.
many. It was so many. And like Infamous say in the chat, hell, the police. That's who killed your daughter. The police. Now, which one was gonna take a while to determine that? But I mean, basically, the police is the one that did it. I mean, you know. Wow, man. You know, this is weird. Want me to tell you why? Usually it's a guy that does something like this. Usually it would have been her getting out the car and the guy acting a fool. You feel me? Like women don't normally run from the police.
The past 10 years, there's been an uptick. Niggas started learning after they was constantly getting shot and shit on the news. Niggas
Yeah.
learn. Women though feel like they're untouchable. There's so many stories. We go through this every couple months where it's a story like this. Remember the Janet Nashville where the lady ran off on the police and ended up getting shot because she rammed their car and shit in Nashville.
I saw this video years ago when I first got on YouTube, and I promise you I can't remember, but this was in the news, so I know somebody might remember. I remember this story where this woman, she was in her car and the police came, and she I think the woman only had some weed. Kind of find out she only had a little bit of weed in the car, which she probably thought she was gonna get in trouble for, but the police came for something. I don't remember, but they asked her to get out. And from what I can remember, she did actually get out the car, but then like she got back in the car, and
They
then she
tased her.
actually they tased her. She actually pulled
This the
off.
same one I
Remember?
was talking about. Yep, this the same one I'm talking
Yeah,
about in Nashville. That was like a
yeah.
year ago.
I
It's
don't
a
think it
big
was a year ago, Trey. No, I don't think
a year or two. It ain't that long ago though.
it's been a minute, but it wasn't last year. But yeah, she actually drove off. Remember, she drove because I think they shot her taste or something, but she ended up driving off and she wrecked.
Yep, it's
She
another girl.
wrecked.
There's a young girl they got a video of her stealing, and then they flash forward to when she got out a couple months later. She was stealing again, and I think I did this story, I believe, on the Shocking News stories where the police officer was hanging on her hood and they shot in the car and killed her. It's an uptick of these women saying, fuck it. They feel like they're untouchable. They haven't, I think it's because historically speaking, they haven't been treated like black men have by the police. They just haven't. They've never been having to get out and get patted down and profiled and typical shit. We used to get profiled for wearing hats and shit back in the day. Women ain't got that struggle.
Oh, y'all got profile for hats, hoodies, pants hanging off your ass. Man, I'm glad you retracted that statement because it didn't make sense. You said it was the stepdaddy, the father, the ex-husband, right? I knew you meant that. I knew you meant that, but I had to get you, man. But yeah, I think the ex-husband is the father, man.
Yeah, he
But I
is
knew
because
what
it's
you
his
meant.
daughter.
Yeah, it was his daughter. They're just not married anymore. I was like, I'm finna get him, and his ass retracted. I know.
The funeral. We had the funeral planned. Now this happened July 27th, and we could have had the funeral a week later, but we had to wait. We planned it for August 9th and still didn't know if we'd have her back. So,
That's not unusual.
To call us and say, hey, you can come identify.
That's not unusual. Not in a case like this is not.
Well, she's not here anymore.
But you know what really makes it, I guess, for the woman to be able to stand up and say that it's some type of like corruption in that town, like just so corrupted. Like I know this woman is the Tiffany woman, but in the town just known to be corrupted.
The town, no.
Just her.
Yeah, and she's saying, well, that's the other place. Yeah, just well, yeah, because remember the other lady that was just talking, she just said the mayor wasn't doing what he was supposed to do, and he had poor approval numbers. Not that he was corrupt or anything.
Okay.
They had just got tired of him.
Not here.
But her, this is the mama telling the story. The mama saying the boyfriend got out, her daughter didn't. Her mama saying that, yeah, it was a police officer in the car when he crashed. Did he get hurt? Possibly, but that's his fault because he got in the car when everybody else backed up.
No,
she knows her daughter broke some laws, and that they were like, what did she expect? Fuck it. If nobody else shot, she expected the nigga that was in the car not to shoot. She just expected him to be in the car with her on a high speed. With him in the car though, he actually in the car with her while she driving, taking him around the city, trying to get him up out the car by any means necessary, which meant kicking his ass out, making a hard turn to make him fly out. She ain't give a fuck about his safety or his life.
That's true.
If nobody else shot, what the guy in the car with her at least justified? Because clearly she wasn't getting out the car. It wasn't gonna stop unless he shot her.
Well, you know, I hate to say it, I really do because it's so sad. But absolutely, I mean, at this point, his life is in danger now. I know, you know, the mom is saying he shouldn't have did this and he shouldn't have did that, which, you know, police are trying to do certain things in certain situations. Because to be honest, he could have been killed and she could have survived had they not shot. Like he could have been killed by her actions by pulling off and driving with him hanging out the car. It's just sad, Trey. I don't want to say it, but you know, it's sad. I just think that all the mother shots was overkill. Because now that I know that the guy in the car shot, like, what are y'all shooting for?
Well, because she driving her car at an officer that was standing out in his vehicle as like a blockade. She driving at him.
Oh, okay.
Fast as a motherfucker. So he defended himself just like the dude in the, because cars kill people too.
They do, absolutely. That's why I say cars can be deadly machines. And I said, had she not been shot, she could have killed him. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
which
is
why
bad.
he shot the one on the outside was saying, shit, she barreling towards me. Let me stop this cop.
Right.
Clearly she has no intention of complying anyway. She pulled off when she didn't have to.
Yeah. I don't know where the hell she thought she was gonna go though at that point, but like I say, it's something weird. It's something not right, like something not being said. I don't know if I don't know if she was on something. I don't know if she was going through something like mentally. I don't know. This don't sound right.
That's why we need to hear from the boyfriend. He knows how upset she was at the restaurant. But shit, I'm sure the boyfriend has told the mama this for her to know that she was hitting it with a pole and all that. She got that probably from the mama. I'm sure Bye-Byes didn't say shit. They the one that made the call. And we still hadn't heard if it was a gun in the car or not. We still haven't heard that shit.
She's been sent over to the hospital for the declaration, or it was just a runaround. And he had to deal with more of that because I didn't go to identify her, nor did I go to the funeral home. He did, and my sister did. But they took a long time getting that body to us. And I believe because that story was so fresh, they didn't want us to see that they shot her twice in the head. So while they're trying to bury it under, she drug cops and she
ain't
aimed.
gonna let y'all see it. And they still had, it's like your ex-husband asked food. They have to forensics. They got to figure out which gun from those 3 officers killed your daughter. They not trying to hide how many times that's the least of their worries.
Her vehicle at cops and she weaponized the vehicle. When that man released that statement, he said she weaponized the vehicle so many times. My family was sitting down here. Everybody's like, okay, he's lying. He's lying.
The vehicle was therefore being used as a weapon. That officer discharged his weapon multiple times into the car, wounding the female.
After hitting that officer, Howard says that the woman then took
He only said it once so far.
Off down the street, hitting a squad car. A surveillance camera on a nearby house captured what happened next. If you look just under the timestamp, you'll see the minivan crash into the bicycle shop. Howard says that the officer was still hanging onto the minivan when it crashed. That officer is in serious condition. The woman driving did not survive. It's not clear if she died from gunshot wounds or the crash, or if a gun was recovered at the scene.
And that too, they had to see if she died from the car crash. And they said it's not clear if a gun was recovered from the scene. Let's see if she answers.
He said it too many times. He said it so many times. It's like he's trying to.
In that clip, he only said it once. And he said that officer discharged his weapon after she weaponized her vehicle. It's just one time. I understand she's grieving. She feels like her daughter didn't do anything wrong and that they wrongly did it. But nah. No, I don't know what she wanted them to do. I guess she wanted them to just let her daughter go. Just fucking pull off. Ram a police car. Just say the guy, the guy that was inside the car, say he bagged up like everybody else. And that's the crazy part about the story. It's already known that he was inside the car. She said he got in when everybody backed up, but he was already inside the car trying to get out. He didn't have a chance to back up. I'm sure he wouldn't have wanted to go on that ride if he had the choice to get out. Because first of all, him shooting, her foot still on the gas pedal. If she's deceased, there's nobody controlling the car. He's still in there, motherfucker. Then it crashed with him in it. He don't have a seatbelt on. He's jostled around, could have flown through the windshield. I'm sure that wouldn't have been his first option to still be in the car if he could have gotten out.
Convince himself that that was the story. And that was not the story, but that is what let us know that he was lying. Early that morning, the first video account we saw was, of course, a employee of Baba's had taken their phone and recorded it over their security, right? So they recorded the incident, the instant that he punched her and that she pulled off. That video is out there somewhere, but we looked at it and the first thing we thought, oh, he hit her. Let's go. And we headed up to the police station.
She didn't get out the car. See, she got punched. Had she got the car, she could have just went to Internal Affairs and said excessive force. But she wouldn't have been punched had her hands not went from up to 10 and 2 and her refusing to get out the car like her boyfriend did. Her boyfriend didn't get punched. Why he don't have the story of getting punched if they just came up and said, look her little bitch, pal, get out. According to your recollection, the story you telling, he just got straight up out there, John. You said both of the kids had their hands up, he came on out smoothly.
But All of that we found out by watching the news that morning.
Luckily, he did get out, because if not, she probably would have gotten him killed as well. If we just being 100.
He and I were both trying to call them and call them and call them, and they kept putting us on hold. They hung up on us after they figured out who we were. Then they stopped answering the phones. Meanwhile, simultaneously, they're releasing a story on the news while they're telling us they don't know what happened. They have a story on the news about this crazy woman with a gun, irate because the store is closed, and there was a crash and a shooting, and we don't know what happened. They stood at my door that morning. They knew that police had killed her. And they're standing there saying they don't know why. Now here, sign your car over into evidence. And of course, you know, I'm like, please find whoever did this to her. Of course, whatever you need. I signed my car over to them.
Now that's fucked up. They didn't tell her that it was officers involved in the shooting. That's fucked up if they didn't tell her that. But they do have plausible deniability of saying that whether it was the car accident or the bullets, just depending on what the autopsy said. But that's fucked up if they pretended to not know what was going on.
But she just said that there was news stories. So in the news stories, they wasn't saying it was an officer involved shooting. She
Yeah,
just said
from the
that.
Baba security camera, she said when she
Yeah,
saw
she
the
said they
punch, she
had
said, "Let's
footage.
go."
So if
Yep.
they got footage and it's in the news and the news is speaking on it, didn't they know what in the news reporting that it was an officer involved shooting? That
Pretty
don't
sure
make.
they were.
So how did the family not, like, how did the mom not know that that's what, listen, what I'm asking is, okay, I get it, she probably didn't know detail for detail what had happened, but not knowing that it was a cop related shooting, I don't understand how she didn't know that. Like, that was something that you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Because she
I
definitely
don't
said
I
when
don't
she
I don't
saw
get
the
that.
footage, she was like, "Let's go." He punched her.
Yeah.
They stood at my door that morning. They knew that police had killed her. And they're standing there saying they don't know why. Now here, sign your
Maybe the ones that were at the door didn't know why they killed her. Maybe they didn't know. Everybody ain't in on the loop.
sign your car over into evidence. And of course, you know, I'm like, please find whoever did this to her. Of course, whatever you need. I sign my car over to them. This thing comes up. They say she has a gun. Then the first few news stories, no gun, no gun. 4 days later, they have a gun. Am I supposed to believe that? And my child never carried a weapon.
Wait, what? Wait.
She said it took 4 days for them to
No,
find the gun.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
The car did run into a bike shop, so it had damage. It could have been pushed up under a floorboard, or it was a wreck. It
But they
wasn't a
took
whole
this,
car that
but
they got to
listen,
search.
the whole reason why this turned into what it turned into, to be honest, for me, was the gun. So you mean to tell me it took them 4 days, Trey? Come on now, 4 days to find a gun. I understand the car was wrecked. I understand all of that, but the priority to me, honestly, would have been finding that gun. It took 4 days.
It was a huge crime scene, Truth.
You know what? You know what, Trey? Go to
It
hell. I'm
was.
not gonna play with you.
It was a huge crime
But you
scene.
know it
And
did not take no no 4 days to
how do you
find
search
no
a car?
gun.
How do you
It
search a
take,
car that's in a building, Truth? It has to the vehicle has to be removed from it. It got to go to evidence.
I
Then it
still
has to be
say,
searched.
I still say it didn't take them 4 days to get that car out that building. I don't give a damn what you say. I don't give a damn what you say.
Well, no, it's not 4 days to get out the building, but it had to be pulled out the building. Then the car had to be towed to evidence. Then all the shit had to be it steps to it, and then it's this Dolton. It's only 20,000 residents. It's not like they got a huge police force and they just got 100 motherfuckers that's doing all this. They probably got 30 niggas on the police force, two of them detectives. And two detectives have the I'm just saying they ain't got a lot of detectives. And just the crime scene from the crime scene from the restaurant, bullet shells, the officer's car that was hit, running down the street, then the bike shop.
Okay,
that's a big crime scene.
I'm gonna let that little bit go. Let's continue to listen. I'm gonna let it go that it took them slow motherfuckers 4 days. Because
I don't think they needed a gun though. They didn't even need to find a gun. The motherfuckers at Bye-Byes could have thought they saw a gun.
No, me being the parent, you gonna find a gun, and the reason you gonna find a gun. Now, I know that lady might not admit it. Hell, if I was in that predicament, I might not want to admit it either. But her daughter was wrong. She was wrong. Now, that's not to say that she should have lost her life, but I can say, and I have to say because it is true that she was supposed to obey the law and she was supposed to get out that car. But had it been me, yeah, it's gonna be a gun. You wanna know why? Because the gun heightened the situation. The whole call
it wasn't
about
the police though. It wasn't the police that said she had the gun initially. It was the caller.
I know this. I know who said she had the gun. I do. Cause see, this is the thing. If she, you know what? Let's just listen.
That's why I'm saying I don't shit. They didn't need a gun. They just showed up because they were told that that's what was going on. They did normal procedure and protocol. Whether the gun was in there, they don't know. But the way she acted, it seemed really weird that she was ready to pull off.
I agree.
That was not a problem I had with Alexis. None. Am I supposed to believe that? And my child never carried a weapon. That was not a problem I had with Alexis. None. She wasn't out banging and hanging with the wrong people. She grew up in Homewood, going to Homewood, Flossmoor High School, Willow High, the schools in this neighborhood. A bunch of soft kids. It's not kids hanging in the streets and on the corners, and she's not she's not from a lifestyle that would present her with a lot of opportunities for gangbanging or so no, she's not carrying a gun. She's a girly girl. She liked to be in dresses and do flips and she wanted to be a cheerleader.
Could it have been her boyfriend's gun?
That's what I'm thinking.
Because she's talking about her daughter. What about her boyfriend? You don't know him.
You know what? But I will say this, and I'm not saying that the child had a gun. I'm absolutely not saying it, but I will say this. We as parents don't know our kids, especially our 19 and 20-year-old kids as well as we know, as well as we think we do, right? And I'll be that parent that'll say that. Like I know, I've heard a lot of parents say, like in court and things of that nature, I know my child. And yeah, we as parents like to think that we know our children and we know what they will and will not do. But what I will say is that, like, once you raise them up to a certain age and they get out there and they get other influences other than your influences, sometimes, a lot of times, you find out that your child is doing and involved in things that you don't know anything about. Like, let's just say it was the boyfriend's gun. I'm pretty sure the mom didn't know that she was rolling around with a dude with a gun. Somebody, if they found a gun and somebody had the gun. I'm just saying, like, it's sad. It's really, really sad because that woman lost her child. And I will always sympathize with a parent that has lost a child in any way. But I hear it so many times. Parents saying, I know my child. I know what my child wouldn't do or wouldn't have done. And that's just, I feel like that's just natural for a parent to say. But myself, when I made my statement in court, when it came to my son, because my son wasn't no thug, no carjacking, all that people put out on him, but he was not perfect. And I said that. I said, look, my son was not perfect. He was not, nobody's perfect. He had his faults. He had a whole case going on, which eventually got dropped. That was going to be dropped on him before he got killed, right? So, kids do dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? So my statement was he wasn't, but he did not deserve to die. And I honestly feel as though even with this young lady and everything that happened, I still don't think she deserved what she got. Now oh my God, she made so many mistakes that night. She did. And I just want to know why. Like Trey, why you be bringing these stories that we don't have answers to?
I don't know, but I just thought about something else too. In the whole 4 days, not only did they had to remove the van to even remove her out the car. Remember, she's driving, she's in the car deceased. That's even the crime scene. Like all of that had to be removed from the scene and taken somewhere else.
I told
So
you
they
I was
could
gonna
get
let
her
that
out.
go.
No, I
I
just thought
told you no,
about
no,
that.
no. Listen, I told you I was gonna let that go. But what you're not gonna do is convince me that it took
No,
them
I
people 4
forgot.
days.
No,
I
I
don't
just
care.
forgot.
I don't care.
But no,
The,
I
the
forgot
damn
that she
car,
was
the damn
inside the
car
car
wasn't
too.
submerged underwater. The damn car wasn't submerged under shit. Like they got that car out of there. They
Let me
got her
say
out of
this.
there, and it still shouldn't have took no 4 days to find a gun. Now, if
If
they
they
found a
wanted
gun,
to plant,
is there? Listen, I'm asking a question.
how
If they
junky was the
found a
van?
gun, if they a van, car, whatever, if they found a gun, did they positively did they link the gun to her or the boyfriend?
Doesn't matter because the car it was an angry woman with a gun. It
So
didn't
how
matter
you
whose
gonna
it
say it
was.
doesn't matter? Because
Because it don't matter.
because
True.
if there was
This
no
is why
gun,
it don't matter. If they found a
if it
gun,
was no gun and that gun was placed or that gun was staged, then it absolutely matters.
why would it take 4 days for them to plant a damn gun? If they wanted to go with that story, it would have been planted immediately. They don't take no 4 days to plant no damn gun.
It don't take no 4 days to find one neither.
It does when the car is a dead body in the car. Police officer was entered in the car. All types of pictures and shit have to be taken before the car's removed, after the car's removed. She got to be removed out that bitch. It's a whole bunch of we gotta keep going back
Believe
to
what
the
you want to
small
believe,
town.
but you're not gonna convince me. Period.
No, gee, yeah. If we was in LA or Memphis or something, somebody been on first 48, you got a point. They got a lot of resources. Not this little small hick town. It's Dolton.
And it's Dolton, and I think it's corrupt. I think it's corruption. Period.
She took off on the laws, man, with an officer in the car. She took off.
That's facts. That's facts. But that still does not negate the fact
They
that it
ain't need no
still
gun
does
to defend
not.
themselves.
It still does not negate the fact that if there was no gun, there was no gun.
What if the engine block and all this shit was crushed and pushed in? We don't even know what the van looked like, and you talking about it
See,
would
I
take
told
4
you, I
days.
told
They
you, I
got to
told
go
you.
through everything.
I done told you in the truth so many times. Y'all be running with these assumptions. Y'all be coming up with these stories. Y'all be coming up
No,
with these
you
scenarios.
coming up
All
with
I'm talking
assumptions
about is
saying it
the
don't
fact.
take 4 days to find the gun. You know how
That's a
different
fact.
types of guns there are. There's 22s just small as your hand.
That's a
It's all
fact.
types of guns.
That's a fact. It don't take 4 days to find no gun. That's a fact.
No, it's that. There's that. Depending on how fucked up the car was.
Okay, Trey.
How
I'm
junky
done.
was it? All of that. You ain't factoring in nothing. You just saying it don't take 4 days.
It don't. Now I don't believe that.
Are you a detective? Are you a searcher of police investigations and things?
What was your question again, smart ass? What did you
Are
say?
you a forensic detective where you checking through the cars and stuff to know
So
how
you trying
long
to
it
set
takes to
me up?
collect evidence?
You trying to set me up with the YouTube to say I'm a detective or some shit? I'm trying to act like a detective. No, hell no. I don't have no credentials as no damn detective, sir. But
So
I
you
do
don't know
have
how
common
long it
sense.
takes.
I do have common sense. I can't tell you that That to me honestly don't make sense. For it to take now 4 days to find a gun. I'm sorry. Not in this situation. The car wasn't immersed in water. It wasn't, it was accessible. It did
It
not
was
take
inside.
4 days.
A building. Truth.
Not for long. Not
It
for
was
long.
inside a
How
building
long
with
you think that
damage.
car sat inside? How long you think that car sat
At
inside that
least,
building?
at least 14 to 15 hours.
Okay, that's way off from 4 days, Trey.
And it could have been longer than that though. Just like it was a 18-wheeler that ran into the ran into the highway patrol or something the other day, and they said they had to disassemble the truck to get that motherfucker out the
That's
building.
an 18-wheeler. Now you stretching it. Now you
No,
stretching because
you
that's
don't. We don't.
different. That's
No, it was a
different.
car that ran into a building. It was a car that ran into a building. The bike shop looked like a damn house.
Proving my point. Was it a building full of bricks? Was the
So the
car
car
submerged
got
under bricks?
damaged.
Was the car submerged
It was
under
bikes
bricks?
on top of it.
You mean to tell me it took them 4 days to get bikes off of? You know what? Shut up, Trey.
No, it took them 4 days to remove the car, process all the evidence through there, and find the gun. Remove body. Remember, they said it took a long time for them to get their body because they couldn't remove the body from the car immediately. They had to take pictures of all of this
No,
shit.
them removing the car from the body didn't take the time. What took the time was all the bullet wounds she had. They had to determine that the bullet killed her, which bullet killed her, did the accident killed her, if the accident killed her, how did the accident kill her?
No.
Them getting out that car, getting her out that car didn't take that long.
It took some time for them to get her out their car to even begin the autopsy. It did.
You know what? I'm sorry.
Because the car had to come out the building for them to even get the body out.
I'm done.
If the car's inside the building,
I'm not
how they gonna
doing this
snatch
with
her
you.
out?
I
How
am
they
not
gonna
doing
snatch
this
her out?
with you.
She slumped over the steering wheel.
I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing it.
Don't do it then.
I told you to let it go. I gave
You're
it to you.
wrong.
I said, okay, we're gonna run with it. Took 4 days to find the gun. Can we move on?
Maybe.
You wanna argue. I ain't gonna argue with you. You wanna argue. You mad. You mad.
No.
That was it. You know, she was a girly girl, so none of that other stuff.
Oh, so can I ask what is the current state of the entire case like right now?
It's closed.
Illinois State Police were the ones to investigate. They were also the ones there to arrest protesters when the protesters were arrested. They decided no charges against the officers, of course.
And they were there to arrest protesters because it would seem like the city was biased against the protesters. They ain't got no ties to dogs other than they come in and investigate officer-involved shootings because y'all got such a small fucking police force.
And I even asked this woman, like, do you know how many people he's killed before her? You know, this couple were arrested. They decided no charges against the officers, of course. And I even asked this woman, like, do you know how many people he's killed before her? You know, this Perez, how many cases he's been involved in that ended in death. Most of them, 95% of them, he was the cause of the death. And because she says they all come across her desk, and I'm like, and you guys are just letting this go? Like, he's out here killing people. He'd only been on the force 6 years by the time he had that incident with Alexis, and he had 3 priors before her, and another person he shot after her. They didn't die, but he discharged his weapon into someone again. There's one with a guy in the hospital. Help me understand that, because they could have sedated the man. He sedated him with bullets.
Jeez.
There's one where they ran those 2 kids into a pole or something, and one ended up with a traumatic brain injury, and the other one's deceased. The biggest lawsuit out of Illinois, and that's what she's appealing that. It's just a lot, and like I said, her remarks, her statement. Which you know,
The mayor of Dolton says that she stands behind her officers, though she says that she hasn't seen any of the video, all of which has been turned over to the Illinois State Police.
I stand with the my officers. They did do the right thing and took a criminal off the streets of Dolton this evening. They have probably prevented crimes that could have or would have happened in the village of Dolton. So it's good she's dead because she might have did something one day. Make that make sense to me. And you holler this black woman, that was a black woman, the child of a black woman.
And you're referring to Mayor Henyard, correct?
Not even a woman yet.
You're referring to Mayor Henyard, correct?
Yes. Because y'all got false narratives out there, and y'all should be ashamed of y'all stuff. Y'all black. Y'all black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. All the stuff that y'all did to get people to come to our community, to just diss and down our community. Shame on y'all.
Yes, that indignant crap was ridiculous. You don't say that about any. Her best bet would have been just to say, you know, there was an incident last evening. Our condolences go out to the young lady that lost her life. I promise we'll get down to the bottom. Something, you know, and you know, whatever to the officers that were supposed to be hurt, because I don't even believe that. They said 2 officers were drugged, 2 were hurt. Okay, so if they were being drugged, why?
Now you don't believe it, but you said, could he have been hurt? It's possible, but that's on him because he got in the car. Now you say you don't believe he was hurt.
They opened fire on the vehicle. You're the officers that were supposed to be hurt, because I don't even believe that. They said 2 officers were drugged, 2 were hurt. Okay, so if they were being drugged, why did they open fire on the vehicle?
To make the car stop. To make the car stop. Hopefully she would take her foot off the brake, off the gas, and hit the brake to grab one of the bullet wounds. Or to pretty much to stop the car. That's why they opened fire. What are they not supposed to do? They're supposed to just hold on and get drugged, let go, still shoot. Like, I don't know what she's.
Your officers are hanging out of this car, right? And you're opening fire?
Terminator.
Again, make it make sense.
Well, the one that's in the car shooting, the one that's hanging on is shooting, and the one that's standing out while she's driving towards him is shooting directly at her. That's probably the one that got the 2 headshots, the one that was outside the car, because he actually had a chance to aim. And I'm just thinking, well, now the one outside the car probably didn't do the headshot, because if she got them headshots and she still drove down the street some more until she hit a witchmacall, she wasn't blanked instantly. It's interesting.
Let me ask you this: Do you think the biggest reason they won't file charges, or I know that you have a lot of detractors on the internet as well in a lot of spaces. Do you think one of the biggest reasons for that is simply because she banged that pole against the window?
Police called to the scene initially by a 911 call.
They got the video of her banging on the window. Damn it. They got
have a lot of detractors on it.
Let me see this on my communal wall. 1814. They show her banging on the damn window. Goodness gracious. She wasn't out the car though. She was inside the car.
Internet as well in a lot of spaces. Do you think one of the biggest reasons for that is simply because she banged that pole against the window?
Police called to the scene initially by a 911 call with reports of an irate woman banging on the drive-through window of Baba's restaurant. Employees reporting that they saw a gun.
you know, they try to say, well, did you see her banging on that window? And
they could have thought that it was a gun. Like they just hearing a loud bang, and then when they come back, they see her a long pole hanging down like the side of the car, like she holding the shotgun or something. I could see that. That's why I shared the timestamp for y'all too. I could see where they got this.
Well, she was half dressed,
and it was a loud banging. At the time when they probably did, they heard a loud banging and they look at the security camera. They can't tell what the fuck it is.
What else? What have I heard? She didn't comply.
But if they thought it was a gun, then I don't think they would have came to the window and told her to wait to call the police. If they thought she had a gun, that would be the last thing I would be trying to do is go to the window where I think somebody got a gun and tell them to wait so I could call the police.
All of that is not punishable by death, by a firing squad, immediate death by firing squad. It's not. And if that's the case, December 6th, there shouldn't have been a living soul in that White House. They should have all been mowed down.
Ma'am, some of them got shot that was doing the most. They got shot. And no, her beating on the window, it's not justification for death by firing squad, but dragging officers and use your vehicle to run over possibly another one and hit a police vehicle. That kind of is. They got to protect themselves. Like you said, she feared for her life and she wanted to protect her life. They wanted to do the same thing. They wanted to get home. And if everybody wanted to get home in this situation, she would have just got out the car. I don't have a gun. This would happen. They mad. Yeah, I hit the window with a pole. It ain't break. And they still ain't gave me my money back. It was a conversation that could have been had, but she wasn't trying to hit it shit. 19.
I'm serious. They climbing walls and breaking windows. They should all been mowed down if that's the logic we want to go with.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mr. Alonzo Wilson, would you care to join?
How are you, sir?
And I will point out to you, all them people was prosecuted and the violent ones, they was apprehended that day. All the ones that was fighting and the ones that didn't get popped, the rest of them went to jail, and then they started going on social media and locking up the rest of them. But, you know, most of them complied. That's why they get. I think you forgetting you are forgetting her actions. It's almost like you wanted them to just let her drive away because she said, "Why I gotta get out? I don't have to get out. I don't gotta get out." You almost make it seem like she was supposed to just drive away. With a possible gun in the car, she's 19, not supposed to have one. They simply wanted to get her out the car to get her away from a gun that may or may not be there, but they were told that it was a gun there.
I'm absolutely great. How about yourself, sir?
Man, first off, I want to give a shout out to you, man, and appreciate everything you're doing, man.
You the father of Alexis Wilson. Go ahead. You have the floor, sir. Say whatever you need to say.
All day long. And Cara basically said it all, but I just want to let everybody know from a father's perspective of where, you know, I am with this. We received a call, right? Now, I received a call from Cara. The police was at the house, and they said, your daughter has been gunned down, right? So it's like, wait, what happened? And they say, it's been an accident, guns fired, and we don't know what happened. This what they telling me on speaker. They said we have no information for you right now. All we know is guns fired, an accident. That's all we can tell you right now. We're investigating.
Well, well, there you go. That's all we can tell you. That's all we know. We investigating. They ain't lie to y'all. They gave y'all the gist of gunfire, accident. That's all we can tell you. It's an open investigation.
So I'm thinking it's somebody. I'm thinking she had an accident with somebody on the street, and words were exchanged, and you get what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, man. So they crashed into somebody, and somebody got out shooting at them. That's what they telling me. So we see the news. And then I'm looking, and I'm like, that look like
My car.
that looked like my ex white van. Wait a minute. So my friend called me like, man, I was behind the van when that happened, and I think that's your daughter. We found out about Lex's killing on the news.
How did y'all find out about her killing on the news if you said the man is on speakerphone saying she was gunned down?
And didn't the mom say the cops came to her house? Was it after the news or what? Because then she said something about they
No,
wanted
the
extra.
conversation is before. They having a conversation with her before because they trying to get her to sign over her car into evidence and all of this stuff. And then he's saying he's listening to them on the speaker, I guess she had him on three-way. And he's listening to them say that. Then they say they see the news and they find out about it. But no, they had already told y'all she was gunned down. It was shots, accident. That's all we can tell you. It's an investigation. And the news echoed the same sentiments they told y'all. You just noticed the van. You didn't need to see the van on there to be like, wait, that look like my ex-wife van, because they had already told you she was gunned down, accident. And they needed her stuff for evidence. So the 2 and 2 should say that's my daughter. She had the accident. She was gunned down and had an accident. You didn't need a friend to tell you, I think this your daughter, because you had already talked to them. See, this shit is crazy. We found out from the news.
Even though behind the van when that happened, and I think that's your daughter. We found out about Lex's killing on the news. Even though words were exchanged, and for you right now, all we know is guns. And they said your daughter has. We received a call, right? Now I received a call from Carver.
He received the call. Now this is before the news. He received a call from her. With the police
at the house, and they said your daughter has been gunned down, right?
Your daughter been gunned down. You didn't need the news to tell you that. Okay.
So it's like, wait. What happened? And they say it's been an accident, guns fired, and we don't know what happened. This what they telling me on speaker.
And keep in mind, they had to get all 3 officers' side of the story. That takes time too. They don't just ask them 2 questions and be done. And 2 of them were in the hospital, so they only had 1 story. So the ones that talked to you actually didn't know because they weren't the ones that were involved in the situation. They haven't gotten all the details. They haven't interviewed everyone. They hadn't interviewed the people from the restaurant.
They said we have no No information, but
they hadn't interviewed your friend and said he was behind the van when it happened.
right now, all we know is guns fired, an accident. That's all we can tell you right now. We're investigating. So I'm thinking it's somebody, I'm thinking she had an accident with somebody on the street and, you know, words were exchanged and, you know, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, man, so they crashed into somebody and somebody got out shooting at them. That's what they telling me. So we see
That's not what they told you at all.
News. We see the news, and then I'm looking, and I'm like, that look like
my car.
Right, that looked like my ex. Wait a minute. So my friend called me like, man, I was behind the van when that happened, and
he didn't call. He didn't call you that night when it happened to be like, yo, have you spoken to? I think your daughter, that friend ain't shit.
That's your daughter. We found out about Lex's killing on the news.
Found out what happened.
Even though they came to the house that day. So we go up to the police station. We like, no, we need answers. We need answers. They invite us in and they finally tell us, okay, the police killed your daughter, blah, 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 blah. But they didn't give us no information. They hid, they lied, they did everything to cover this thing up. So, I mean, Dolton is just, man, Dolton is just, it's crooked. It's crooked. The police is crooked. The mayor's crooked. I mean, proof is in the pudding. So,
and that was 3 months after she got elected. 3 months later. And maybe that's, you know, I won't even give her an excuse, but she immediately started hiding after we had that protest in front of her house. She immediately got security, and she hired PR.
I mean, she may have been threatened. It's almost like you bragging at the fact that after your protest, she got security. 3 months before your protest, she didn't need security. But y'all showed up at her house. Y'all didn't show up at the city place. Y'all went to her personal residence. I think that does kind of warrant security. Y'all were angry. Somebody could have done something emotionally.
All right, where Dr. Nikita comes in.
Cell phone video provided to CBS 2 shows some of those arrests. Dolton police says the crowd crossed barriers and police lines that were set up, and that's when the arrests occurred.
She left it out when she said they was there to arrest protesters. As long as they ain't crossed the barrier, they was cool.
Protesters we spoke with say they were peacefully demonstrating on the sidewalk. It all happened near 142nd in Chicago, just a block or so from Village Hall. Several police departments were called in, including state police. We spoke with Camilla Williams, who says she was one of the people detained and released tonight.
He told me I was arrested for disturbance. So I got some disturbance charges, and you know, I feel like my rights to protest was infringed on.
Step out of the car. Step out of the car. Police were called to a fast food restaurant in July where workers said Alexis Wilson in the red van wouldn't leave and was threatening.
Oh, shit. Y'all gotta watch the goddamn. I need to find this whole video. It's in the video that I shared, though. Did y'all hear the screeching off, though? And it's almost like one police officer almost got sandwiched between the van and like one of those little yellow beams put there to protect the building from being hit. He almost got squished in between it when she pulled off. Ooh. And you hear him on the loudspeaker, get out the car. Boyfriend got out.
You sharing it on your commune wall?
Yeah, I already shared it.
Okay.
That time stamp is around. It's gonna be around 23:30.
Okay.
Step out of the car. Step out of the car. Police were called to a fast food restaurant in July where workers said Alexis Wilson in the red van wouldn't leave and was threatening workers with a weapon in the drive-thru. The passenger in the car got out, but Wilson did not. Surveillance video shows that she drove off and dragged one of the officers. That's when an officer started shooting.
And then it showed the nigga getting dragged and the woman talking about she don't think he was hurt. And it looked like she hit, I don't know if this was the police car or not, but if it looked like it was a car right there on the side that she hit pulling off too. Shit.
Through. The passenger in the car got out, but Wilson did not. Surveillance video shows that she drove off and dragged one of the officers. That's when an officer started shooting, killing a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
She eventually
that was the police car right there. Yep, she hit the shit out there motherfucker.
Through. The passenger in the car got out, but Wilson did not. Surveillance video shows that she drove off and dragged one of the officers. That's when an officer started shooting, killing a 19-year-old. She eventually crashed into a bike shop.
We are protesting to find out what happened to Alexis Wilson. Accountability. That's why we're here. We're going to continue to be here. We're going to continue to stand for justice. No arrest is going to run us away.
After we did try to attend some meetings, some board meetings, they canceled them. And the one that they did not cancel was where they arrested the protesters outside. Now, at that time, our attorney was telling us to stay out of a lot of the protests. You know, we were being advised to stay out. But those people, like I told you, those day ones, Rabbi, Camilla, Dr. LaShawn, they were out there, grassroots, they were throwing protests when we weren't even showing.
Well, apparently, this happened 2 years ago. You're speaking again, and you was at the board meeting speaking. Apparently, y'all couldn't come up with anything because you still not supposed to be speaking. Your clip has circulated the world, from news people to YouTubers to bloggers to everything.
And this is what I want to leave with you, sir. A young black, she's a teenager. Yeah, she beat on the glass with a stick. Yes, she did do that. They came with guns drawn
to a stick fight.
They didn't know it was a stick. Y'all are mad at how they responded because of what the restaurant said. Y'all know for a fact that the restaurant said she had a gun. Shouldn't most of that anger be at the restaurant? Because if they just said it was an angry woman beating on the window with a pole, they would have pulled up and seen she wasn't beating on the pole, and they wouldn't have, as he said, pulled up ready, guns blazing. They just would have been like, man, what's the problem? Why are you still sitting here after you just banged on the window with a pole?
To a stick fight. And
again, this is an issue DoorDash would have fixed right then. They would have gave her money back. Now, she wouldn't have got the $10 off credit that she would have gotten for doing that, but she could have used her DoorDash and pulled up to somebody else or went back home and had it delivered to her. If you've done DoorDash before, you know the restaurants don't give the money back. It be them because you ordered through DoorDash.
Then realized there was no threat. They realized that because you strong
to a stick fight.
And then realized there was no threat.
How did they realize there was no threat? She didn't get out. They still didn't know if it was a gun in the car or not because they didn't get to search. They didn't. We know dude got out though. Y'all ignoring the fact that her boyfriend, passenger, could just as irate as her about how they pulled up and approached. He handled himself in a calm demeanor and got out.
They realize that because you see them put their guns up. You see
They
them.
holster them.
So, okay, if they put their guns up, they came up, they pulled up with their guns up, and then they put them down. Why was she fearful for her life? As your mama said, and as your ex-wife said, she wanted to preserve her life for what? You said they put the guns up and they took the boyfriend out peacefully, and the guns were up. So why did she feel the need to drive off? Why didn't she get out the car?
Mm-hmm. You see them holster their guns. Then my daughter says, "What did I do? They took my food. What? I'm not dressed." She's pleading with this officer to
listen,
explain to her why she's in trouble because I did nothing wrong. She pleaded.
Instead of just getting out the car, she could have pleaded outside of the car.
With him. And what does he do? He don't want to hear it. He starts punching her in the face. And I want everybody to understand that.
That was wrong. Excessive force.
None
He's
of this.
not supposed to punch her, especially if she did hit him. Now he could grab her wrist and all of that trying to get her out. He could do that after he's asked her to get out and she refuses. But straight up just punching as a means to get out, that's wrong.
What had happened? It was a female. Now let me say. She said, "I'm not dressed." It was a female officer standing right next to the vehicle. Right? At that point, I'm thinking,
if she's not dressed, why is she out in public operating a vehicle?
Let me be clear. When a woman says I'm not dressed, sometimes we as women, if we going through a drive-through and we may get in our car, we going through a drive-through, we don't plan on getting out the car. Not being dressed don't necessarily mean naked. Don't mean naked. It means I'm not appropriately dressed. Like, maybe she went out in her pajamas. It was one something in the morning, right? She could have been like in PJs or, in like, I don't think the girl was naked. Okay. Maybe she had on PJs or something like that, or something she didn't think was appropriate to be seen outside of her car. A lot of women do that. That's when you see the women with the bonnets on and shit of that nature.
She shouldn't have been beating on the damn window with a pole.
I get it, Trey, but we talking about the address. We talking about the dress thing. Now you want to go back to the beating on the window with the pole. I'm
saying if she feel like she ain't dressed enough.
Explaining what it means to be not dressed. That's it. That's it.
I'm just saying, logically speaking, if you feel like you're not dressed enough to get out the car, maybe you should be doing shit that'll make you have to get out the car, like beating on the damn window with a pole.
I get it, and you're right. You're right. Now ain't nobody disputing that. Like I said, and I said it about 10, 15 minutes ago. I said she made some bad decisions. She
What if
made
my
some
nigga
bad
had said
decisions.
that? What if my nigga had been like, what if my nigga had been like, I'm not dressed, I can't get out?
You know what?
I got on my sleeping shorts, G. my nipples on hard, G. Don't look at me.
Just stop it. His nipples on her. You know what?
He got on his sleeping shorts and his nipples on hard. In his little cami.
I cannot. I can't.
This shit. It's just
It's crazy. It's weird and
I'm
it's sad.
thinking
It's really sad.
they
It's
would
sad.
call the female
It's
officer
all of the above.
Yeah.
over to okay. She already said she's not dressed. She's inappropriate.
So what that means? She get to stay in the car with a potential gun in it, which is why they showed the fuck up, cause she ain't dressed. I ain't gotta do what you say because I'm not dressed. Is that what you telling us, sir?
I'm thinking
y'all are acting like the only thing y'all admit to is she hit the window, but that don't mean. But that's the reason the police were fucking called, because she hit the window. None of this would have happened had she not have banged on the fucking window with the pole. Because according to you, it had already been exchanges about the damn food, and they said you gonna either take this or get nothing. We ain't remaking nothing, we ain't getting no money back. You were saying how other cars had circled around twice, looked like they had got the wrong food. So she's the reason they were called in the first damn place.
We know this, Trey. Why are you so angry?
Because they just won't accept accountability. I know it's hard, but god damn. Like the lady said, he may have been injured, but that's his fault. He hopped in the car when everybody else bagged back. Then she flipped up. I don't think he was hurt.
Let me just make it simple, make it plain. Those parents, the mother and the father, are grieving parents. Okay, they are grieving parents. Yes, they are grieving parents that lost their daughter, and you know sometimes in the grieving process, you just don't want to accept certain things, right? Like first of all, hell, you don't even want to accept that your loved one is gone. You don't want to accept that. So it be a lot of stuff, you know, that grieving parents that may not want to accept. They don't want to accept the fact that their daughter was at fault for anything that happened that night. They don't want to accept it, Trey. They want to, you know, get every reason, rhyme or reason as to the fact that they don't want to accept the fact that what their daughter, the decisions that their daughter made that night led to her being shot 7 times. They don't want to accept that. They want to come
And
up
I
with
know it
anything.
hurts because there was another guy in the car and he made it through because he simply got out. That I know that has to hurt them as well.
Yeah. Yes. So just take it as that. Don't take it as them trying to. I know they're trying to say she's not at fault, but they don't want to accept that she was at fault. They don't want to accept that.
They got to.
I know. I know.
Because it's like this story is different from a lot of other ones where they were just being profiled and pulled over for no reason. No, the police had a reason to show up.
You're right. You're right.
They're gonna call the female officer over. Nope, he started punching her.
Now, she just said she was undressed, so you're reaching inside a vehicle with a young lady that already said she felt like she wasn't dressed.
Make that make sense.
Was she dressed or not, though? See, that's what y'all need to tell us. We know what she said, but y'all have seen photos. Y'all have seen the body cam footage. Was she dressed or not? And you having on clothes has never stopped the police. They will walk your ass into jail butt naked, whether you male or female. That doesn't stop them. And he said it was a female officer right there, so she must have not thought that she was inappropriately dressed to get out the car. There's a female there.
Mm-hmm.
She watched everything go on, so there wouldn't be anything improper going on. She still is a witness, and they got body cams on.
You wasn't supposed to be trying to pat down or nothing anyway.
Little man's.
He wasn't trying to pat her down. He was trying to get her out the car. The female officer would have patted her down once she was in cuffs. He just wanted her out the car. Now, you saying he didn't have no right to even say nothing to her because he a male officer and she's a female. That's not how it goes at all, sir. Men can make the first contact and they can wait for a female officer. And in some cases, men will pet the women down, not thoroughly, but just a little brief one. They'll stay away from the crotch and the region in the breast just to make sure they don't do nothing improper. But they'll do a back, stomach area, stop at the waistband, hit your legs, and then let the female officer do the rest when she comes. It's the thing, men can search them. They just to avoid situations they let females do it, but men can.
Yeah, that's my son. This is
what up, bro?
This is who Lexi was taking care of.
Hey, hi, Alonzo.
Hey.
Yeah.
What did he say? This my son. This who.
Yeah, that's my son. This is
what up, bro?
This is who Lexi was taking care of.
Who Alexis was taking care of.
Why was she taking care of his son?
Mm-hmm. He the daddy, right?
No, that's her mom's ex-husband talking.
The daddy. The daddy.
Yeah,
He's the daddy.
Yeah, this Alexis' daddy. He said she was taking care of his little son, the 9-year-old. Why?
Okay, yeah, that's her brother. So she took care of her little brother. That's what he's saying.
I don't like how that sounded.
Oh God.
No, it sounded like she was the caregiver of him. I'm like, she's
No.
19. Why is she taking care of a 9-year-old?
I don't know. I don't think
it didn't sound right.
I know.
Hey, hi, Alonzo.
Hey.
Yep.
Is it what do you guys need from the community right now? Like I know we
must not be the ex-wife's son.
Like in Chicago, I will be there this weekend, so I hope I get to see y'all this weekend. But just going forward, what can we do to help? Just whatever that means, however.
Spread the truth. Exactly. Spread the truth.
They didn't press charge.
That they were wrong. That girl did not deserve to die that night. And I really, like I said, when people find out that that's my daughter, a lot of times I get the comment, "Oh, you mean the girl that drugged the cops?"
I'm losing my motherfucking mind, man.
That is not what happened.
That was a lie. That's a lie.
It did happen.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you got the floor. You got as long as you need.
It did happen. We
seen
it on video.
That I had. Everybody.
See, I like this guy because he does these interviews and then he goes and plays clips in between the question that he asked. So he played the news clip of the body cam showing her dragging. And he said, they ain't happy.
Watch the video, my brother. And they said, this is how they lied in your face. If you watch that first video, they say, oh, she drugged a cop. But you look at the video, where do you see a cop?
At first, it was 2 cops, 1 in each window.
Right.
Well, ma'am, you said that it was an officer inside of the car and he decided to get in there. So if he got hurt, this on him. Where did you get him being inside of the car if you said there was no officer inside of the car to be drugged? Where did you get that from?
You don't see no cop. They lied. Come on.
And then they
man.
said she was aiming her vehicle at the guy who shot her. That was a lie.
What I want everybody to understand is this, man. Look, my daughter, whether she hit the window with a stick, whether she argued with somebody over food that she paid her money for, she did not deserve to die.
She did not.
She did not deserve to die. I wouldn't wish that on.
I agree she did not, but circumstances had it that the action she took got her shot and she died. They didn't show up saying they were going to kill your daughter. That was not their intent. They was somewhere chilling when they got that call. They were scared to go to the call because it's the world we live in where everybody got guns.
The officers that killed her, I would wish that on their kids. De-escalate. I know my daughter.
That was a hard
She's
one
a
to de, and I
debater.
gotta say it. That was a pretty hard one to de-escalate because the escalation was on 10. She was driving that car. She pulled off in that car. She had an officer in the car. She damn near hit another officer going for. I mean, it was just hard. De-escalate.
And she definitely hit the police cruiser getting up out the driveway because that's how close it was.
I feel so sorry for them. I feel so sorry for them. I agree with Mad though. I agree with Mad. Agree with what Mad said.
But apparently they ain't working. She said they told them to stop going to rallies, and now she out talking. Yeah, it's been 2 years. They said it was 2 years ago.
Wow. Like, are they still are they still talking today? Like, is this recent? Them talking?
This was 10 hours ago.
Oh, okay, great. Okay. So apparently,
and dude live now talking about something. And then you remember she was the people are talking to her now because she came to the board meeting and she was like, remember she said her sister put her middle name in and she said I'm the reason
so
she got
didn't think they were
security.
gonna let her speak. Yeah, they didn't think she was gonna let her speak and stuff.
Yeah, and saying I'm the reason she got security. She said that in front of a national audience.
That lady needs security from way more than that family with her treacherous ass.
Well, this was her first. She was only in office 3 months when this killing happened. So this was her
What
first.
she said though, Trey, did you not listen to how she spoke about it?
Yeah, I'm saying this is what she said. She's saying her making those comments is what triggered the protest, and she said she's needed security since then. But she bragging about that. That's not a good thing because now you give legitimacy to her needing the detail, and everybody has been saying it's wasteful spending. What does she need security for? You've just given them a legitimate reason to say, well, now we know why. Because this woman is bragging about her needing the security detail like y'all trying to hurt her.
That's true. That's true.
Just leave that out your speech next time. And she came on this show and said the same exact thing.
All he had to do was talk to her.
To stop.
That's all he had to do.
Say, ma'am, you got to get out.
He did. What the fuck?
Report about.
Man, you got to get out. He did. He told her to get out. Now y'all acting like this nigga he walked up. Hey, get out. He put the gun up, started fighting.
All he had to do was talk to her.
All she had to do was get out like her boyfriend did. And I'm sure he's somewhere saying, baby, just get out. Just get out. Now I want to see if somebody got this body cam footage out on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. That's all he had to do.
Say, ma'am, you got to get out. We got to report about. Man, just talk. But he came irate.
He came irate. And all he had to do was say, ma'am, look, all he had to do was de-escalate the situation.
It's amazing how y'all saying all he had to do when y'all not saying all she had to do was. Y'all do realize that logic applies to her who made the situation worse. She exasperated it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Bring the female police officer over. Anything instead of.
So if she thinks she would have listened to the female officer instead of him, even though the female officer was busy getting the male passenger out the car. Funny how he didn't give her a problem, and he was a male on female, but she, as a female, decided to give the male a problem.
Punching her in her face because this big manly man and my daughter is 15 pounds.
Even. She was
And
100
you're
pounds
punching
even.
her in her face. What do you expect her to do? Who wouldn't drive off? Who wouldn't?
You expect somebody to get out.
No, you don't. You don't drive off. You absolutely don't drive off. That's,
You know, if you drive off, you're gonna get shot. Like this is
no, not
known.
necessarily. You don't evade the police. You don't drive off. You definitely don't drive off with a cop in the car. Yeah.
Wouldn't drive off if somebody punching you in your face.
Fight or
and you're
flight.
trying to talk to them.
What did I do? She's asking the questions. Why do I gotta get out? Ma'am, we got a call.
Now, you know they got a call saying that there may be a gun in the car, and you saying that he should be extra polite after he's asked her to get out the car and explain to her calmly, they said you got a gun. What if she's holding the gun? What if it, you know, that's why they're trying to get her out the car to make sure
Wait a
there
minute. Wait a
is
minute.
no
You
gun.
said she's holding the gun. Where'd that come from?
No, I said, what if she?
Oh, okay.
They were
There
just
you go with
told.
the what
that-
ifs. Okay, go ahead.
No, she's saying the man should be talking calmly, but I'm saying in a police officer's mind, he don't know if she's clutching the gun, it's nearby, or what. That's why he's trying to get her out the car.
Right,
To
I
get
get
her
it.
away from any weapon that may be in there. He want to get her away from the weapon, then they can be calm and talk. Where he know she may not, when he ain't got to worry about her shooting or harming him or whatever may or may not be in the car. But they're assuming it's something in there because this is what they were told.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he just want her to get out. We could be calm after you get out the car. I'm calm now when I'm telling you, get out the car. You know, we do have to have an elevated voice to kind of shock you and surprise you. It's a sense of bewilderment. But
Not
yeah,
a sense of.
no, that's why they yell when they come in and keep indoors and things. They do all that loud and flashbangs to disorient you, to bewilder you, to be like, oh,
Yeah.
sense of being overwhelmed. They refuse.
Just anything. You gave her nothing, and then
to them.
What did I do? She's asking the questions. Why do I gotta get out? Ma'am, we got a call. Just anything. You gave her nothing, and then.
But here's the thing: she know why the fuck she gotta get out. She knows she banged on the goddamn window. That's in the back of her mind. When soon as she seen the police car, she be like, "These motherfuckers done called on me."
Mm.
You saying she explaining about the food and shit, but she didn't get out. She saying she ain't dressed, and he's supposed to be trying to explain this to her while she's saying all of this. Which he probably was trying to explain to her. That's why she kept saying, this is what happened, and I ain't getting out, and I ain't dressed, and all of that. He probably was telling her. We have to find these damn body cam videos if they exist. Well, they do exist because they in this video in little small clips. We got to see the whole, whatever they get out, we're going to find and look at.
52 seconds. And if you watch that video I sent,
52 seconds.
What did I do? She's asking the questions. Why do I gotta get out? Ma'am, we got a call. Just anything. anything. You gave her nothing, and in 52 seconds. And if you watch that video I sent you by that drinking board one, it actually looks like he's punching her with his flashlight in his hand.
Security camera footage from the fast food restaurant shows police arriving on scene. Both Wilson and her male passenger are asked to get out of the vehicle. The footage from the officer's body cam shows while the man complies, Wilson does not.
I'm naked. But cover yourself up with that.
And she said, I'm naked. And he told her to cover herself up and still get your ass out.
I don't believe that girl was naked in the car.
But that's what she said. I don't believe it either, but she lied like a motherfucker.
Now, this is the thing. If she was naked, driving to a drive-thru about some DoorDash money or whatever, that further lets me know something ain't right. I keep saying,
she wasn't driving to the DoorDash. It was a promotion. So she ordered DoorDash, and the promotion was, if you come to the restaurant, you get $10 off. And apparently, they fucked her order up.
I get it. That's what I'm saying. But that's not pressing enough for a young lady to get in her car naked to go to the restaurant. Like, I get it. Like, you may not be appropriately dressed, but you're not naked. And if she was naked, that further lets me know that something was going on with her mentally. Like that don't make sense. That don't make sense.
I think she probably just had on some booty shorts and
she probably had on some
and a shirt
I
with no
can only
bra.
imagine she probably had on a bonnet, maybe a little what do you call it? The little white people like
tank
shirt.
Tank top with no
there you
bra.
go, tank top with some little booty shorts and maybe some house shoes and things of that nature. Now I just don't believe she was naked.
But that's what she hollered
If
out, so she wouldn't have to get out.
With a boyfriend in the car driving to a drive-thru, something ain't right. I keep saying that something ain't right.
I mean,
something
this
ain't
nigga
right.
y'all have to go back to this 3022. This nigga hop straight out. He ain't naked.
Male passenger asked to get out of the vehicle. The footage from the officer's body cam shows while the man complies, Wilson does not.
I'm naked. But cover yourself up with that robe or something.
Investigators confirm Wilson was only wearing a shirt and a house coat.
I said, cover yourself up.
Oh, a shirt and a house coat. So she just
she ain't had no panties on.
What? That's not what it said. She could have had no. You know what? Try just play the clip.
No, they just said it. They confirmed she had on a shirt and a house coat. Means she had on a t-shirt and a robe. She ain't had no panties on. That's why he said cover up with your robe that you got on.
Damn.
Complies, Wilson does not.
Why you ain't just send the nigga to go get the food if you couldn't put on the bottoms? You could put on shorts or nothing. Why you just didn't send him out?
I'm naked. But cover yourself up with that robe or something.
Investigators confirm Wilson was only wearing a shirt and a house coat. The impasse continues for a few more minutes, but as the officer on Wilson's passenger side enters through the vehicle's open window, presumably.
And hold up.
Confirmed Wilson was only.
Mama said she had her hands up. This lady ain't never had her hands up.
Wearing a shirt and a house coat. The impasse continues for a few more minutes, but as the officer on Wilson's passenger side enters through the vehicle's open window, presumably to take her car keys, Wilson speeds off, dragging the officer. Dolton police say both officers opened fire on Wilson. The shooting in the officer and a house coat. The impasse continues for a few more minutes, but as the officer on Wilson's passenger side enters through the vehicle's open window, presumably to take her car keys, Wilson speeds off, dragging the officer.
I don't see her being punched either when she pulled off. They said he's reaching through. That's what the lady described this as you can see the officer reaching in. I don't see her getting punched.
Dolton police say both officers opened fire on Wilson. The shooting ended with the vehicle crashing into a nearby bike shop.
I'm gonna definitely look at that again. See that
Because that light pops up.
He punched her twice.
You clearly see her head, like her head snaps back. Like you see her head snap back.
Her
You
head
see it.
could have snapped back because he was reaching in and she was backing up. Like, don't grab me.
He punched her twice before the first punch, she didn't drive off. But after the second punch,
she's like, oh,
it's time to get it.
Fight or flight.
It's time to go.
I didn't see that.
He caused all of this.
Absolutely.
He caused it, not her banging on the window.
His officer jumping in the car. He caused all of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
He called his officer jumping in the car.
I thought y'all said the officer didn't jump in the car. Now y'all saying the other officer caused it. The one that punched him caused his officer to jump in the car.
Oh, he probably had no clue what he was supposed to do.
But
you got a serial killer training a rookie.
Yeah.
You got a serial killer
Elaborate on that.
Carlton, the cop that crawled into the car, which you can see like I said a while
Did she call
ago.
that cop a serial killer?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, yeah, because he's killed 3. They said he's been in 3 officer involved shootings in 6 years.
No, not a serial killer. No.
Man,
listen, man, I can't say crazy. I'm not gonna say crazy, man. But no, not a serial killer for the officer.
Now she's saying now they went back to he crawled inside the car.
Well,
but
he
they
may
said
be
he wasn't in the car.
He may be a little suspect. I ain't gonna lie, you know. But serial killer, come on.
They switching back and forth between wasn't nobody in the car to he crawled in the car.
Yeah,
they got to pick a struggle.
Like 3 before her.
Go ahead. Thank you.
So he had already killed about 3 people. And so he was partnered with the rookie.
It's not, listen.
The rookie is the one that jumped in the car.
It's not unusual. Listen, it is not unusual. And I know she said he had not been on the force that long, which, like I said, it's suspect, but it's not unusual for cops to have bodies. It's not unusual.
And Dolton is a high crime area.
Exactly, but to call a cop, well, Trey, we're not gonna do the high crime area because you sat here and said that the people ain't got but 20 people in this damn
they
town.
don't, and it's a lot of crime out there. They have a lot of unsolved shootings because people coming from Chicago.
Well,
but that's
yeah,
where they're coming from, Chicago to Dolton.
I get it, but it's just not unusual for a cop to have bodies. You know, for them to call a serial killer, that's kind of that's doing the most.
Especially in a town of 20,000, it's definitely not unusual.
Right.
Unless there's just the only way it's unusual is if that town is not used to dealing with violent crimes.
Mm-hmm.
If they used to dealing with car break-ins and shit, fine. But if there's not a lot of aggravated assaults and robberies and shootings, then it would be unusual if somebody's constantly killing people in a situation where the city's not known for violence.
Mm-hmm.
Or, he was climbing in the car before she ever took off.
They ain't had a murder since 73, but this police officer keep killing niggas. That's when it looks unusual.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that shot her, but he never returned back, but he was a rookie. So you have the serial killer training a rookie. And what was the first thing the rookie did? Get his first kill.
Yeah.
I mean, this is some shameful shit.
And like I said, he didn't yell.
What the rookie do? Get his first kill. You act like that's what the fuck they pulled up there for. Like they were just hunting somebody to kill that night.
The car over. Stopped the car.
He started screaming, he started shooting.
He didn't say a word. Pull the car over.
What?
Stop
Didn't
the
we?
car.
No.
He started screaming.
He said a word.
Now we heard on the loudspeaker, get out the car. We heard
Yes,
it.
we heard him.
We
We
heard
heard it.
we heard people outside the car telling her to get out. She talking
You
about I'm
can't lie,
naked.
man. Like, you can't lie on the face. Like, I know you trying to plead your daughter's case, and I get it, but you cannot lie on the face. I know I heard. Get out the car.
And
Hell,
she
they
said
told
she
her to
was naked.
Okay. All right.
I mean, this is some shameful shit. And he didn't, and like I said, he didn't yell, pull the car over, stop the car.
The fuck he gotta say pull the car? Are you saying after she took off, he didn't say pull the car over? It's futile.
I'm
Why
pretty sure that
yell
man.
pull the car
I'm pretty
over?
sure that cop that was hanging out that car said stop. Something.
They saying he didn't, he just shot. Well, what the fuck? She wouldn't even get out the car, so she gonna stop? Now that she didn't hit a police car and got me inside. There ain't nothing else to say. He don't have to say shit at this point. She refused to even do the original shit.
This is crazy. It's crazy. I'm sorry.
These folks losing their damn mind.
He started screaming, he started shooting.
He didn't say a word. It was a revenge killing.
What?
Revenge for what? Okay, maybe he's gonna tell it. But revenge for what though? Did they know her? Did they know her?
I don't mean to laugh, but that is ridiculous.
Trey, it's desperation. Listen, it's desperation, Trey. It is desperation to defend their daughter. I get it. See, I get it. But I need to know revenge killing for what? For what?
I don't.
Stop
Nothing.
the car.
He started screaming, he started shooting.
He didn't say a word. It was a revenge killing. He didn't say a word to her. Like I can't watch the
He's not gonna tell you why it was a revenge killing.
Okay.
He ain't got no reason why he said that. He just said it. Fuck it.
The footage, because it rips my soul out my body. But all I hear from he didn't say pull this car over. He didn't say stop or I shoot. He didn't say nothing. My daughter screamed when she looked to the right and saw his gun out, pointing at her. You hear her scream, and then you hear shots.
But man, sir, the guns was out initially as you telling this story. You said the guns was out when they pulled up. Then you said he saw it wasn't no threat and he put his gun up. So the guns had been out and she ain't give no fuck. She drove off. And you saying why he inside the car, and then y'all said that wasn't nobody inside the car. This is what y'all told us. Y'all look at the thing, y'all don't see her, ain't nobody in that car. But y'all keep saying that he got inside the car. His actions, the other dude actions, punching your daughter, caused this other nigga to get in the car. Now y'all saying when this nigga's in the car and she done pulled off, you heard her screaming, and then you heard him shoot from the body cam. She's screaming when she see a gun in her face, but it was guns already in her face, according to y'all. When he was telling her to put the robe on, he had his gun out. The officer on the passenger side.
So you tell me.
Oh, and the last words, I won't forget. Subject down and get me out of here. He said, where are you at, partner? I'm in the car. I'm in the car. He didn't say I'm hanging up onto the car. He didn't say
Y'all said he wasn't in the car. Yeah, I'm hanging in. What do you mean hanging? He got in. So now you're making it's a difference between him hanging off and him being in the car.
I'm in the yard.
It's not like he had a gun to her head telling her to drive. I don't think he needed to tell her to stop when she pretty much kidnapped him at that point. He didn't want to go with her on that
You know
ride.
what? Now you're doing the most.
No, she kidnapped him. He didn't want to go for that ride. He didn't. She moved him without his permission. That's the definition of kidnapping.
I get it. Okay. Now I get it.
I still don't. They wanted the police to just let her drive away. She needed to explain and be nice and let her drive away if she so chose.
Mm-mm. No.
I'm in the car.
I'm in the car.
Now,
what do they do? Go get him, bring him out the car, give no aid to the little black girl that's just been shot 7 times.
He said, subject down. They called her already.
Was he shot? No. Did she have a gun? No. Was she a threat? No. Matter of fact,
she was absolutely a threat. Even
And
with
they know
no
they found
gun,
the gun
even with
4
no
days later.
gun, even with no gun, she used the car. The car was a weapon. She was aiming at cops. The car was the weapon.
There was no way for her to get out the driveway without ramming that police car. There was no way.
Like I honestly, like, you know, and I do have to do honest commentary and make, you know, not, but I feel so sorry for them. I honestly feel so sorry for them. I do.
they had the fob to the car. Am I right?
Yeah.
They had the fob to the car so the car wouldn't go past the block.
Yeah.
How they had a fob to the car when they said it looked like he was trying to grab the keys when she took off? And how does the officer that's inside the car, let's just say somebody did have the fob, because there's 2 officers. There's one at the driver's door, there's one at the passenger door. The one at the passenger door is the one that ended up inside the car. So let's just say the officer at the driver's door had the key fob. How does the person on the inside know that? They have no idea knowing that. And I think that's the last thing they talking about on the radio with this happening split second like that. I got the key fob. I got the key fob. He's inside the car. She took off. She rammed the car.
They murdered my daughter, bro. They murdered my daughter.
What? And at the end of the video, the body cam that they haven't released, there was a part where the officer goes to the Baba's workers and say, "Did you see a gun?" And she's like, "Huh? And she goes, "Did you see a gun?" No.
Well, that may not have been the one that called and said there was a gun. That's why she was talking to her, I don't know. But they do, you do acknowledge that the 911 call said that. You can't ignore it. That's what they said.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if they hadn't released that, well, how you know about it?
By workers and say, "Did you see a gun?" And she's like, "Huh? And she goes, "Did you see a gun?" No, no gun.
No. How many days? They say they found a gun. How many days later?
4 days later.
Wow, 3 days later. After that crash, and it wasn't.
Right.
She said 4, he said 3.
They murdered Alexis Wilson. They
Gotcha.
murdered Alexis Wilson and tried to cover
Within
it up.
3 minutes. Within 3 minutes. Within 3 minutes. They didn't even give that child 3 minutes to understand what was happening at that moment.
She knew. Why the fuck do y'all keep acting like she didn't know why the police showed up? So in their brain, it's normal for people to just bang on windows with poles at the restaurant. That must be normal in their household. Because apparently the police weren't supposed to be called for that.
What did the impact of your protest have?
They need to make her understand that if you hit windows with poles in the drive-thrus after you've had an argument about getting a refund, then the police may show up. That's what they needed to explain to her. Because that's vandalism. That's called public nuisance, disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace, a shit ton of things. They needed to explain it to her, huh? Because y'all didn't.
On the mayor.
She ran and hid.
Was it true that she blocked her whole street off?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Had officers patrolling her street.
He thinks this is fun.
But here's the thing. The whole, first of all, we get more threats than the mayor because it's people saying,
oh man, all online? Oh yes.
Oh,
so y'all acknowledge that she got threats.
Hold on, let me explain. It's people saying, oh, she got what she deserved, and da. They taking up for the men and the police.
Now, I'm not saying she got what she deserved, but I'm simply asking, what else were the officers supposed to do in that situation?
Saying that if
they feared for their life.
I mean, you can imagine, my brother. You can imagine. Think of what happened to George Floyd and all these other.
It is not George Floyd.
It is not the same. I'm sorry.
And then she's saying they fear for their life. They're human beings, ma'am. Just because that's their job, but they are humans. They still get afraid. It's situations they ain't never been in before, some of them. It's like y'all keep saying this a rookie. This may have been his first time experiencing some shit like this. And it's not, they gotta go with this memory for the rest of their fucking life of taking somebody's life. That's a haunting thing.
These people that
they said one of them didn't come back. It just said, I don't know which one they said didn't come. Well, no, they said Perez got a body after that. So I think the rookie didn't come back after that incident. Shook, guilty, even though he did what he did to save his life. It's like y'all feel like y'all daughter did what she did to save their life. They felt like they did what they did to save their life, considering the circumstances of a moving car at a high rate of speed that they've already had been told a gun was in. And now she won't get out. Now she's pulled off. Now one of our officers in the car. Y'all know he's in the car because y'all said y'all heard the subject down, come get me. Where you at, partner? Inside the car.
on the internet trolling saying, oh, but he died off drugs. The police think, I mean, you name it. I don't want to go there, but I'm just telling you. They tried to cover it up. My daughter was murdered, and they tried to cover it up. Bottom line.
Oh, they were
That's
saying
it.
the dad's
It's
drug
nothing else. The evidence is right there. But she's saying she getting threatened. How we feel when we getting she deserved what she got, and
That's not a death threat. That's people being insensitive, but that's not a death threat, sir.
We stand behind the police. Like, okay,
that's not a death threat. Again,
games get stupid prizes.
I mean,
that's not a death threat either, ma'am. These are insensitive comments. It's trolling, but it's not a death threat. Nobody's threatened to kill y'all.
Imagine what we've got from these racist people trolling us. Imagine. So, but like I said,
not once have y'all said any of these racist people said we gonna kill you next.
Like I'm saying to this, and this is on Lexi and on everything she stands for. I wouldn't wish this on no other people. Not the cops, not my friends, not anybody I don't know. I wouldn't wish this on nobody to lose a child because she had an argument with somebody at the window.
And the police decide to protect the building instead of the person, right? Yeah.
And you keep and the police decided to protect the building instead of the person. They didn't give a fuck about the building. They didn't want to be there.
Money over
My
life.
daughter had no record. She's never been arrested.
They didn't know that. The car was your wife's car, so and they didn't even pull in from the back. They pulled in from the front. So if they ran, well, Chicago got, I don't know if this, well, I'm guessing that area. I know Chicago got in front of the back. But the car registers
Yeah,
your
because
wife.
we don't have to have front and back tags. So I wonder if they did. You think they did?
Yeah, because it said that area, I'm sure they had, but that incident unfolded so quick, I don't think they had time to run the tag. Because as soon as they pulled up, they telling them to get out. But if they did run the tags, the car would have came back to the wife. She don't look like the wife, so they don't know who that is to know if she has a record or not.
Right.
Have to start her own business. Go to school.
Started it today.
She bought all her she bought all her equipment to furnish her last studio. It's sitting in her bedroom. She never got a chance to actually put it in the studio.
Can I ask y'all, did the ACLU or NAACP or anybody like try to help y'all?
How many letters have I written, Alonzo?
Maybe
letters to everybody.
I can't count. You know what? See,
I've been doing this since it happened.
Here's the problem, sir. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it 100.
Please do.
If you look at everything that's going on with us as blacks, unless it's going viral, they're not gonna accept us. Carver reached out to.
That's when you get your own lawyer there. If you can't get the big ones, see, y'all are talking about the race hustlers. You talking about Jesse and Ben Crump and them. Well, that's why you hire your own lawyer. You don't wait on them if you feel like it was wrong. But most of that, they've heard about it. They looked into it, and based on the evidence that they got, they don't have anything to argue. Her being naked, that's not a good argument because that doesn't stop you from that will never stop you from being arrested. If you naked and you drunk Are they not supposed to take you out the car? Are they not supposed to ask you to get out from behind the wheel when they pulled you over drunk?
Everybody, including what's the attorney name?
And could that be a thing? Could she have been drunk? Is that why she banged on the window? Is that why she pulled off? Could it have been that she was drunk?
Then Crump.
Then
She
Crump.
reached out to everybody, but you know what I learned? You know what I learned about that system? Wasn't viral enough. Lexi case wasn't big enough, so they're not gonna come in and I mean,
because it wasn't open and shut like George Floyd and Philando Castile and the other people that you're trying to compare it to. It's not the same.
Look, this happened to not only me and Carver, this happened to a bunch of people all over the country. But unless they could get their name and go to the media and show off and, oh man, they not studying that. That's why I don't have no respect for them. You know what I'm saying? We need to end this, man. De-escalation for Black, white, Hispanics. De-escalation. My daughter said, I'm not dressed. What did I do? They took my money. What did I do? And he started punching her. That's not right. How many seconds, Carver?
52.
52 seconds.
Not even 1 minute. Not even one
And I've
minute.
seen
She
videos-
never had a chance.
And then I'm confused again because y'all said in less than 3 minutes.
I've seen videos, and like I said, I've seen videos of the opposite race had guns, running, arguing with the police.
We gotta stop saying that because we got videos with Black people that done all that shit too, and they hadn't ended up dead. So we gotta stop saying that. So yeah, I didn't share the rest on my community while all my shit's about to die at the same time. That's really crazy. There's 16 minutes left. I didn't share it. Go check it out. And apparently he's live now. What is he talking about?
It's on.
What are you talking about? More fallout from Dolton. I guess he's talking about the subpoenas being served.
Who is he? The same dude that whose channel this is on?
Yep, the late night crew.
Okay.
I know I'm gonna try to find them damn police videos now. I got to see because they done took me all around the world with this thing. And I don't know what's going on because I got to see for myself now.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything?
No, I just think it's sad, Trey. That's all. I just think it's pretty sad. And I know, the young lady she made bad decisions or whatever, but she still lost her life, and I think it's sad. And I feel bad for the parents.
I do too, but they gotta stop with it. They're not
Like
gonna heal making excuses.
Like I said, it's desperation. It's just desperation. That's it.
I agree. I'm just saying they're not gonna heal as long as they're making these excuses for everybody except for their daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody else should have done something differently except for her.
Yeah.
Start off your conversation with that and then go into what everybody else should have done and why you don't feel like, but acknowledge that she shouldn't have driven off. Acknowledge that since she claimed she was naked and they did say she just had a robe and a t-shirt, they ain't list no other articles of clothing, that maybe she shouldn't have been out getting food.
But even with that, even with her not being appropriately dressed and not wanting to get out of the car, that still don't warrant for her to pull off in the car. You know what I mean? Like if she felt a way about getting out, not being dressed, that's still. I mean, why did you drive off?
And left your boyfriend.
Fuck the boyfriend, child.
But I'm saying she left him.
She did. She did. She did.
Right, y'all. We is up out this thing.
Bye, y'all. See y'all later today. I think. Hopefully. Okay.
Peace.
Bye, y'all.